Okay, let's check. Let's check the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Okay, let's check. Sounds impeccable. Right, what do we got? District 9 from a year ago. How to beat the bad guys in District 9. What? District 9 is one of my favorite movies because it's so real. It's one of the most realistic looking sci-fi and realistic feeling. It's very real, makes you really feel it. All right, so what happened with Korean Airlines Jeju that crashed? I think they had a double engine shut off, and that doomed them. That's it. But why couldn't they? Anyway, somebody explained they couldn't bring down the flaps. They didn't want to bring down the flaps because they lost both engines. And anyway, or it may be panic. Let's see, loner box.
People believe, and I think that the people that think that's not true, I think you can look at the immigration issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't understand
the events.
Okay, let's see. Man secretly records moments leading up to killing.
The events of April 3rd kicked off with this frantic 911 call made by Courtney Clenny.
Operator, don't submit the address of your emergency.
Let's see this.
Hello, it's Scott Manley here. You've probably heard of this guy. Well, I want to talk about the very first space venture that he got involved in. Now, if you watched my video a few days ago about lesser-known Soviet rockets, you'll know that he tried and failed to buy some Soviet ICBMs so that he could put a greenhouse on the surface of Mars. This project, called Mars Oasis, had a lot of smart people involved in it. And in the study I read, they thought they could do this for $38 million, and that would include 2 launches by these former Soviet missiles. And so I thought it would be fun to go back to the earliest days of this YouTube channel and build this in Kerbal Space Program, or at least an approximation of it. To be clear, the proportions and scaling on this are all off. It's very hard to miniaturize the probe, but I can build something that is broadly similar with, similar first stage, second stage, and then the third stage, which has to do the backflip to get into orbit. Now, because of, how difficult...
That's not what I thought he's going to do. I don't care for Mars. Mars is, in general, a waste of money. Let me see. Okay.
I want to tell you just...
Shut up. Okay, what else we got? Yes, hello. The fog is back. Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hi. Are you a communist?
Adjacent, I guess. Kind of clicked on this room by accident, not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I'd be willing to talk about it.
Oh, good. So... go on, I'm listening. Or you want
What do you mean, go on? It's your room.
So, the name is Communism is bad. So, agree, disagree?
Exactly. Explain your position.
Oh, well, I'm a capitalist.
What do you mean by communism? And, why is that bad?
Right. So, I'm a capitalist, meaning...
All right.
I believe... it's not that I believe, we know scientifically that free markets create higher quality of life. So communism in general, it's the opposite of free market. It's the opposite of a free market economy. Therefore, it should lead to the opposite of a high quality of life, which we know scientifically, statistically speaking.
All right, how many scientists have I understand economists may have done papers on this, but scientists, how many peer-reviewed articles have been done on this? Because you're saying scientifically a lot.
economics is a science.
Is it? I mean,
Sure. Yeah. So, economics, it's a theory.
okay, it's a theory and a science, two different things.
I mean, theories usually in the context, it's usually a scientific theory. I mean, I don't know, I don't know anything else but a scientific theory. So, economics is a scientific theory to explain the natural phenomenon known as the economy. So,
Um, well, I mean, I heard something different. I heard that it's considered a social science, which is not necessarily the same thing as like a hard science like chemistry or physics. Um, and you're right, it does explain the phenomena of things like, you know, the economy, systematic study of it, etc., and development of theories and models to explain those phenomena. But
mhm,
it's it really depends on who you ask whether or not it's like considered a science.
mhm.
And honestly, like even if economics in a vacuum may be considered scientific, the way it's actually applied in real life, no fucking way, dude.
Mhm. Okay, I mean, yeah, I've heard your opinion expressed by many people. This is a common, talking point. But I've studied economics and I've studied physics, and economics, in my, as far as I'm concerned, is much more of a science than physics. Economics is actually even closer to mathematics than physics. It's very pure. It, in economic theory, there's basically just one assumption. From one assumption, there's
But you
very.
do realize mathematics is not a science, like at all.
I mean,
And also, like, the thing is, what I'm trying to explain is that economics, it deals with human behavior and societal systems. Physics doesn't.
right. So whether math is a science or not, I think math is a
It's
science.
not.
Well, everybody has is entitled to their opinion. We can debate your,
It's not a science. It's a human interpretation of how the world works. Like there's no like scientific method of breaking it down. It's just like, oh, this symbol means that in context of these other symbols. And the thing is, like, a lot of things that make mathematics sense don't actually work in the real world. We actually have to like constantly compare mathematics to the real world to make sure it's not bullshit.
Okay, I mean, fine. As I said, I mean, everyone is entitled to their opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. Stop pulling that opinion card on me.
What do you mean? It's your.
It's not my opinion.
Okay.
Mathematics is not considered, like a science in traditional sense. It is like more of a language of science. Like everyone knows that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, everything you say, that's what you say. That's your opinion. I you like, and everything I say is my opinion. It's like I can claim that the universe agrees with me. Yeah, that's my opinion that the universe agrees with me. At the end of the day, everything I say is just my opinion, and everything you say is just your opinion. So
I'm not going off my opinion though.
fine. I'm just saying, but I'm just
Okay,
saying
what you're saying is bullshit, and I think you're retarded.
that's fine. That's fine. That's your
No, it's
opinion.
not fine. I think you need help.
That's fine. That's still
No,
your
it's not fine.
look. What do you want to do? Do you want to do you want to talk? Do you want to leave? You want to keep?
Honestly, I think I'm gonna leave.
That's
You have a
fine.
good day.
You too.
Shut the fuck up. Stop saying it's fine. I swear to God, if you talk like this to people in real life, you get your teeth pushed to the back of your throat.
Jesus Christ. Wow, that escalated quickly. wow, people really opinions about math and economics. Jesus Christ, people get so upset. You tell them, well, that's your opinion. It's like you're gonna get your teeth pushed in. Oh my God, Jesus, Jesus. You would think I did something so heinous, so terrible to deserve. I mean, in real life, right now, he would have attacked me. That's what he's basically
Remembering Jimmy Carter.
insinuating. Wow, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let me find something delicious and nutritious to discuss. Who's she? Why can't I hear anything? Weird. Um, the audio is off. I don't understand. Let me. There's a watch later list that I've created. Okay, this is interesting. Patrick Bet David, sex worker, data scientist, libertarian, MAGA turned on Elon. I wish these would start playing automatically. Musk wears out his welcome in Trump world. MSNBC, come on, that's boring. How did they catch him? U.S. drone pilot. New arm feature. Let's okay. Mutiny in China. Sure. Lona Box goes Joker mode, debating President Sunday. President Sunday is really an interesting character. Really very belligerent, like a communist. Planet Peterson. Sam Hyde. Hot take on United Health CEO shooting. I don't know. Like these looked very enticing when I added them to the list, but now I don't know anymore. Not now they look a little more boring. Turkey in deep trouble. Really. Civil war explodes between Elon and Trump loyalists. Trump has lost it. Vouch. Wait, we have a message from someone. Hello.
Hello,
How are
I'm
you?
here. I
What?
tried to join like 2 seconds ago, but
What?
say again.
I I was about to ask you to say again. Like I didn't hear what you said.
Oh right, I said I tried to join 2 seconds ago, but my Discord was acting up.
Oh, I see. Okay, your name is Beats.
Yep.
That's nice. Are you a communist?
No, I'm a classical libertarian.
Interesting. So you're wait, for real?
Yeah, so not like the new liberal. Not like the new libertarian. I believe that doesn't work. You know what I mean? Just like the classical libertarian. Like I don't believe that the government should have any say in what the people do. So I believe in like a free market, and so I'm like the opposite of a communist.
So you hate America?
No, not necessarily. I think if anything, I think America's the closest thing to a free market that we currently really have.
Interesting.
I
But
say closest thing with a lot of a pinch of salt, but
mhm. Are you pro Putin?
not really, because I mean, well, Britain. So I'm kind of just falling under the directive that I'm not really a big fan of Putin because it isn't really a big. I'm kind of sitting under the fact that it's not ideal for the West for him to exist in Russia. So
But are
I'm not.
okay. But like so I'm assuming you're like a Christian, you're religious, you're a white nationalist a little bit.
No, I'm a Scottish nationalist.
Right.
That would be correct in saying that I'm a nationalist. But yeah, I'm not really religious, not.
Are you a white nationalist?
What does that? What does white nationalist mean?
Are you afraid of like black and brown immigration?
No, that would be like your English nationalist, like your EDL,
Hmm.
not Scotland. No, we kind of agree that we kind of need immigration because
Wait.
I don't really because
Hmm.
I don't really believe in like people putting people in categories. I just don't care. I mean, if you contribute something to the economy, then good. Do you know what I mean? Like a very economically focused. And not, I don't really care much about the social structure of a country.
Hmm. Okay. What about Israel? Where do you stand on Israel?
Uh, I'm all right with Israel. I'm all right with Palestine. I do not like Hamas. I disagree with Hamas.
Why?
Well, they're terrorists, really. I mean, I get the strategy and philosophy behind it. So what they're doing is they're fighting a media war. So obviously, if and I'm not like saying here, I'm not sitting here saying that Israel is completely innocent. No, I'm not saying that at all. But like, I'm saying that like right now, I'm painting Hamas as the kind of the worst people here because of the shit they're doing. Because I mean, there's Israel, which are, I mean, they're a bit bombing children is a bit far, right? But I mean, I think when it comes to Hamas, I mean, not letting people out of buildings before they're bombed is a bit fucking, yeah. I mean, or blaming bombing your own hospital on Israel. That's a bit far as well. So I mean, I'm kind of more against Hamas because I don't agree with terrorism.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter who towards. But
Hmm.
if, in all honesty, if I was to put a bigger opinion on it, I
Hmm.
honestly couldn't give a fuck really.
Hmm.
But I honestly couldn't care. But
Hmm.
if I just to give some context, nah, I'm kind of on pro Palestine, pro Israel, hate Hamas.
Hmm.
Kind of like a centralist. I don't know.
Okay. Fascinating. So I can't disagree with you on anything so far.
No, brilliant.
I've
No,
given
to
it
be
I've given it everything. I fired all, all my ammunition I fired at you, and you absorbed everything. So like I don't have anything left. You don't disagree with me on anything. I don't know what to do. I'm
I mean, we
speechless.
could talk about communism because I agree that communism is well bad. We could talk about it. Um, I think if I the one thing that I'll put something controversial out
Mhm,
just so we can have something that we might disagree on. I
mhm,
believe that socialism or communism, right, that kind of ideology,
mhm,
because I see communism as an economic ideology. I mean, it's communism and capitalism, right?
mhm.
So I
Actually,
hmm?
actually, you could argue that communism and capitalism are not opposites.
Oh
You know, you could,
um
because communism theoretically means communes. You create your economy is composed of communes. Like the Soviet Union, that's a mistranslation. It's actually the Union of Soviets.
yeah
A Soviet is a commune. It's it's supposed to be like an independent economic entity. It's basically a federal, it's a federation. The Soviet Union was supposed to be a union of economic entities, very similar
yeah
to the United States. That was, that's the name. So you could argue that
yeah. I
each.
mean, you
Mhm.
could argue that. I agree, you could argue that, but I believe the whole point of it was that the commune was meant to be kind of how you would gather the country's wealth. However, the commune's role or the Soviets' role was to distribute that wealth to the people, which in capitalism isn't really the same thing. I mean, you can kind of put it like what would be the capitalist equivalent of a commune? Do you know what I mean?
No. The point is that each commune is capitalistic, right? A commune owns stuff. Each commune is capitalistic.
Yeah.
So let's say today you can, with your friends, create a commune, and other friends will create their commune, and the two communes, each is capitalistic. Each trades with the other. Internally, each is communistic. Each is egalitarian. But two communes treat each other like, two separate economic entities, like each one is capitalistic towards the other. And there's no contradiction. So capitalism and communism are not contradictory. They're tangential. They're orthogonal. They have nothing to do with each other. Theoretically, I mean, so when people say I'm a communist, what do they mean? I mean, they usually mean something else, not They don't mean like we believe in the commune. We like they What they believe is that the planet needs to be one big commune.
Yeah. I have a feeling though what they mean though is where the money goes rather than how their economy works. So they're more believing because if you look at like everyone nowadays, I mean everyone's got a political ideology based on social structure. I mean you don't really find people like me or you that actually believe more in the economic side of how the world functions. I mean so they'll be communist in the fact that they don't really care where the money comes from or how this happens, but the collected wealth and distribution of that wealth to the people to create equality, that's why they're communist.
Oh, 1 second. This guy Beats. What's up?
That I've been here for ages. It's
Oh, I'm sorry.
the fog is back.
The
It's
fog. The fog is back. Yeah, Mister. The fog is back. What's up? Are you
Just want
there?
to see what you guys are talking about. See if you're being as irritating towards him.
oh no, we're pretty. We're actually having a nice wee conversation about communism.
All right, cool. He and I got stuck on like, is mathematics like? First of all, it was like, is economics considered a hard science, and it became is mathematics a science? And then I got irritated at him saying like that's your opinion. I'm like, okay, like I'm looking this up. This is literally not my opinion. This is like consensus amongst the community. And I just told him to go fuck himself essentially. And
Oh, well, I mean, I'm having a quite nice combo here. So
But
all right, well, I'll just listen. Maybe I'll bump in a little if I have words to say.
no, I'm
alright.
I'm curious to hear the fog and Beats. Why don't you carry on? I'm wondering how this will how if the fog and the Beats you can get. I don't know, because go ahead. You talk to each other, convince each other of something.
Okay.
Is
Okay. Well, we'll start on this then. So, Fog, what would you say is your political ideology? Let's just kick things off.
In the most general sense, like essentializing it as much as possible, just anarchist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anarchist. Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're at like different sides of the political compass. Like we're on libertarian, but like, cause I'm a classical libertarian. So
Got it. You're like,
um,
like right wing economically libertarian.
yeah. I'm actually like that. To be fair, that puts a smile on my face because whenever I say classical libertarian, it's like a fucking libtard. You know what I mean? Like it's like, no, I'm not new libertarian. Like, I have a totally different economic and ideological belief. You know what I mean? But yeah. So why are you anarchist? What do you believe? Because we do share like some views.
Well, actually, I guess you give a little bit of backstory for context. I was originally more economically a social democrat and always did have like socially kind of liberal or libertarian leanings. because I believe that giving people as much social, political and social rights as possible, and giving them as much economic opportunity and well-being as possible was the best, most utilitarian way to, provide the most well-being and happiness for the largest group of people. And through, reading books, watching videos, and after like a year or so of changing my mind, I came to the opinion that capitalism was an inherently broken system, that no matter how well regulated it may be initially, it will inevitably degrade over the course of generations, and it is better to try to replace it with a system that does not have the same contradictions to secure, economic, well-being and individual liberty.
Wait, the fog. Have you ever heard of Professor Richard Wolff?
No.
Hmm. Okay. Like that's exactly how he expresses himself. All right.
Oh, American Marxist economist. Okay. Well, I mean, anarchists and Marxists do disagree on some key points, but we agree on a lot of things too, I guess.
So you feel capitalism is broken?
Broken in the sense that it has some contradictions that cannot be addressed through reform or, band-aiding it or fixing it. It has to be completely replaced, with a new system.
Wait, can you define capitalism? Maybe I agree with you. Yeah.
The definition of capitalism I'm working with so is a economic system where the ownership of private property, and by private property I mean things like the means of production, like factories, service centers like hospitals, McDonald's, and factory, fields for farming, things that produce with value, shit like that. Can be owned by private individuals and organizations through a ownership contract, like a private owner, like you sign here or you pay money for this contract, you own it, and that contract is validated or backed up by, say, the monopoly of violence of, say, a state. So, like, if like someone violates your private property rights, like the police will come along and kick them off your property or something like that.
So,
and usually capitalist economics are paired with market systems of distribution, though there are some examples of it being state-run.
okay, so I mean, the way you explain capitalism, I mean, that's not how I define capitalism. So,
Well, that's just your opinion, isn't it?
no, it's a definition. I mean,
Mr. Slave, how would you define capitalism?
I would say capitalism is just free markets. It's any economic system.
That's basically that's that. So you agree with Falk. That's basically what that.
No, not at all.
No,
No.
Free market is separate from capitalism.
Yeah,
Like Fog.
Markets are not a means of ownership like capitalism is. Markets are means of distribution. Markets are not inherently capitalistic nor socialistic. They are independent of those economic systems. There are forms of socialism that function off market systems. There are forms of capitalism that function off like planned economies, like for example, the Soviet Union.
I'm losing. I'm honestly, I'm losing you. I have no idea what you're talking about, honestly. So,
He's not saying anything too far out there. I don't think he said that capitalism can function in multiple formats. It could be a marketplace system, or it can form in more of a plan-based economy.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, we can ditch the word capitalism because it might be emotionally loaded. Because
wait, bro, what is your education regarding like capitalism? Have you ever taken an economic course?
No.
Or is it something you just read online?
No. I'm saying let's not use the term capitalism because it seems to be emotionally loaded. So,
I mean, I don't think me or TED Talker here were having problems with emotionally loading it. I think you were just kind of projecting.
No, I'm saying
what you're trying to define the term and according to how to like utilize like even like Merriam-Webster. I think he did a very good job explaining it, Fog. I don't know what is the holdup here.
No, I mean, the way
So
I yeah, Beats, go ahead.
So okay, so just to avoid this whole conflict kicking off, free market or the definition that you just gave of free market, I find that quite interesting because the definition that I've kind of grown accustomed to is it's kind of the word used to describe capitalism in the sense that companies can do what they want and how they want to make money without government regulation, which
Mhm.
is kind of my idea of the use of the free market.
Yeah.
How did utilize in the American context? But the free market is just an exchange place for like material goods and other form of products, even ideas. You go to this place called the free market, you put your product out there, people purchase it or not based on the value they perceive it to have. It become adopted based on these same principles, and then it become
I'm losing you.
evaluated based on how far out it becomes spread.
I'm
That's essentially the
losing
free market and like put into practice.
I'm losing you, TED Talker. I don't know when TED Talker, when you talk, and when Fog you talk, I lose you. So I so so as far as I
I'm not
know,
saying anything like alienating.
no, I'm
Do you know
not
what I mean
saying
like
All
what
right,
alienating.
Mr.
what they're
Slave.
saying is actually
I
pretty
am
Mr. Slave,
yeah.
maybe if you
on point.
explained exactly where you're losing us and how and why,
I'll
we'd be able
yeah.
to explain to
So
it better.
I'm okay. So I'm a scientist. I try to be scientific about everything in my life.
Are you like a scientist in the sense like, oh, you just slap that label on you, or are you like actually recognized and by a
By
group of your
scholarship,
peers?
yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
said I'm a scientist, meaning I try to be scientific about everything in my life. That's what I mean
That's
by
not a
it.
scientist.
No, that's autistic.
Okay.
I was saying inquisitive, my friend. I wouldn't put
Okay,
autistic on it.
okay. It doesn't okay. I try to be scientific in everything in my life,
I
including
think I found the problem.
You mean you think logically? You
yeah,
take the time to think of something in a more abstract way, so then you can understand it in a new view. It's not scientific, it's just being a human.
That's analytical.
Yeah.
That's a different
I think right,
analytical
okay,
here.
so Mr. Slave, what TED Talker was trying to say,
hmm
or not what he's trying to say, what he said, actually. That what I said was quite patronizing, sorry. What he
No,
said
it's fair.
was,
It's good. It's good.
um to try and sum it up for you, Mr. Slave, was that basically a free market isn't the description that I gave like a little couple minutes back. What he said was that the free market is like kind of the idea of the distribution, so putting a value on a product and someone buying it, basically. I mean,
Yeah,
that's about as basic as I can sum it
yeah.
up. To be
What
honest.
Beats said, capitalism or socialism, the ism is how the good or service is made, and the market or lack thereof, it's how it's distributed and how the value is determined.
Yeah,
I agree with this.
no, I think I can get behind that idea. Yeah, I agree with that.
So
So
now that
now
we
we've got
established a floor of the conversation,
Well,
where do we want to
I
proceed
would
from
I
here?
would say I would so what I so I'll formulate it my way and we'll see where that gets us. So
okay.
I try to be scientific about everything
You
in
said
my
this.
life. Yeah, but I was then, interrupted.
Okay.
So when it comes to economics, so a scientific analysis of the economy says that, concludes that the more the freer the economy, the freer the people are to
I
trade.
mean, maybe like Austrian economists say that, but there's more than one school of economics. And also, like, freer the market, does that mean in the context of a capitalist one or something else?
No, the freer the people are to trade with each other, for example. The freer,
Yeah, but the problem is, like, freer the market can also mean freer the private business or corporation is to do certain things that may be considered unsavory by most people in society. So
okay, but
I
so
think to to give you an idea, Mr. Slave, is that I see a free market. For one example, I see a free market as a market without VAT. So I disagree with the whole premise of VAT, or value added tax, if you don't know what VAT is.
I mean,
So that's when the tax on the value. So basically, say if you got like a log, right,
no, no,
and the
no.
log costs 10p.
No,
You
no,
know
no,
what VAT is.
no. That's not the point. The point is, first of all, I'm saying, in theory, regardless of reality and the constraints of reality, and and then you overload any economic system with a
Sorry, hold on.
political system. What? I'm just saying. First, I'm saying first, let's talk about the pure theory of economics. So
What would that be? There's many theories.
so the theory says, the economic theory says, that the freer the economy, the higher the average quality of life of the people. Go ahead.
Wait, where did this theory
It's
come
just,
from?
it's just, yeah. What are you reading off of? What's your? I'm trying to say this in the least dickish way possible, but what is your source you're reading off of right now?
What do you mean?
Like, are you
Because
reading off like?
there are multiple forms of economic theories.
Yeah,
When you
like,
say the purest form, from what discipline?
yeah, like there's the Austrian form of economics, which tends to be more or less in line with what Beats may believe in. Very individualist, market capitalist stuff. And then there's like, Pierre Joseph Proudhon and his kind of economics, which is more in line with mine. And there's a bunch of others.
I mean, okay, let's maybe start with an individual. Like, you agree that an individual, his or hers quality of life, the freer an individual is, the higher their quality of life is going to be, right? You agree with that, right?
I would honestly disagree.
Wait.
I personally disagree.
Oh wait. So let's think this through. So a person wants to eat McDonald's, right? So if he is free, he can just go and eat McDonald's, and right now that's his optimum right now. He right now wants to go eat McDonald's. So that's if he's free. Now let's constrain him and let's say, okay, he's not allowed to eat McDonald's. We force him to eat. We tell him, McDonald's no, Burger King yes, McDonald's no, but he prefers McDonald's. So he will go, okay, then he will choose inevitably Burger King, because we didn't allow him to eat McDonald's, but he really preferred McDonald's. So by constraining him, we have decreased his quality of life. Do you agree, or
No offense, but it's like some fifth grade logic here. When you can train someone for making choices that is not good for their health, let's say a child want to eat candy all day, and we have them eat vegetables and other food groups that's seen as healthy. We give them the means to build a healthier body for themselves, which will develop in their brain, will encompass brain development, and other vital parts of their developmental processes. So even though they don't get to eat the candy, which is like a short-term desirable thing they want, they grow into a stronger individual because of the healthy diet we provided towards them. In this sense, freedom is detrimental because they'll choose short-term consumption over long-term growth, because people don't understand the value of long-term growth.
I mean, honestly, the thing is, I prefer not to talk about children, because how I would treat a child and an adult in an economic framework would be, different, obviously. But generally, what I would want to say is freedom. Freedom to choose doesn't automatically equate to, freedom to have. Like, just because someone has the choice to go to, McDonald's, Burger King, etc., it doesn't automatically mean they can afford to, or it doesn't mean they can thrive there, or it doesn't mean they can, be there for other reasons. That's why, one of the big things I learned about were the difference between positive and negative freedoms, and how they relate to each other. And I think they're both very important because, like, positive freedoms, like you're describing, you know, the ability to choose to go somewhere, those are important. But, you know, ultimately, I think freedom from hunger is more of a priority here.
But just getting through the basic theory, choice theory. So
The basic theory, we don't even know what theory you're talking about.
choice theory. So
Choice theory. What? Okay, choice theory. I'm looking it up.
He's
well,
just invoking terms. I don't think he have any knowledge about what he's saying.
well, do you agree or disagree about what I said? Right.
I don't
We
even
should
think
ban fast food.
I don't. To be quite honest, I have absolutely no idea what that analogy is about, which I had to mute my mic and have a wee giggle to myself. But I kind of, to be fair, necessarily, I did lose you, and because I
What do
think
you
like
mean?
I don't know where you were like trying to get at. Like, what were you trying to say? Like, would you say like a free market is letting someone go to McDonald's, or would you say like a free market is like, or would you say a non-free market is not letting someone go to McDonald's but letting them have a Burger King? Like I don't know. I kind of lost you at that.
So
is
let me just
communism bad because
answer.
McDonald's good?
Let me just answer. So my point was
One
that
goes up, world Google it.
my point was that when you allow freedom, when you allow a person economic freedom, you increase their quality of life. And I gave an example: when you constrain them economically, you constrain their economic freedom, you decrease their quality of life. Right?
See, the thing
Your
is though, is
example is
that
like so rudimentary that it's useless. Like I don't even know how to
Yes.
engage with it.
Yeah,
Well,
because
think-
like a counterexample was like you allow maximum freedom in the marketplace, then more experienced members of the market will absolutely destroy anyone that enter it,
Like
just on the basis of exploiting them and
I
giving
could
them
just
false
say
value in the goods they buy.
I could just say, like, you know, authoritarianism good because if I made it illegal to smash your greasy balls with a rock, then that would, you know, make your people's life healthier and better.
Why
Like
greasy?
greasy? I don't
why
know.
greasy?
Felt like it. What's on
I
my
would
mind?
I would say
Anyway,
that's a very rudimentary
Anyway,
way
so
of a
do
lack of
you
a better descriptive word. You could have said grippable.
okay? Anyway, do you agree or disagree with what I said? So I need to know.
I refuse
I
to.
either.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
refuse to.
mean?
I don't know what you're trying to
Okay,
say.
entertain
if
that
you
Bro,
look
you
at
need a
you.
better example.
No, you
Okay,
have
right,
to
Mr. Slade.
answer. It's a simple
Let me
hypothetical. You have to
let,
answer
let
my
me try.
question.
Let me try. Let me
It's too
try
simple.
and give you a
No,
bit of a.
what do you mean? They need to answer
Wait,
the
wait, hold on, Mr. Slave. I'll try. I'll try my best. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Try to do your
Okay.
best. What?
So
You need to answer my question. Do you agree or
I don't need to
disagree?
do shit,
my
motherfucker.
my I
McDonald's
think
or Burger King? What do y'all prefer? I think I like the snack wraps.
I mean, I haven't had
Come
Burger King
on,
in so long, I
come
can't
on.
really say.
It's not
I
that good,
don't know.
bro.
I
Okay,
mean,
It's
guys,
very
look,
mid. The burger's mid.
if
The
you're
chicken
not
is mid.
if we're not going if you're not going to answer my question, then I'm going to have to mute you. So either answer my
Oh, you're
question.
the room owner. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
you got to
He's
answer
also
my
Okay.
streaming right
So
now, so
you got to
hi,
answer
chat.
my
okay. So I'll try. I'll try my best to answer it, but I need to establish a few points first, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So you said economically restrained. In this event, how are they economically restrained from going to McDonald's? Because it's not really economic; it's kind of more social. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are they economically restrained?
And we don't even need to use the word economic. I mean, I constrain them. Let's say I'm
Okay.
not allowing them.
Okay. Just because of that, I think I'm going to disagree with your statement.
Okay, so Beats,
One
Fog, I'm
second.
about to make a new room. I'll be honest, this dude is retarded. I'm gonna make my own room and we're gonna actually talk about communism.
All right, cool.
All right.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'd say like I disagree because I don't think it's got anything to do with economics, considering you've just taken the word economics out of the statement.
Okay. I mean,
Like if you've taken economics out of the equation, then it no longer becomes an economic question. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't really know how to answer the question if what I'm talking about is economics. You know what I mean?
But you have to answer the question. You can you
Well, I
otherwise.
did. I said I disagree with it.
What do you?
You know what I mean? I said I disagree because if
So
I'm
you?
looking at it from an if it was originally an economic question
I don't know.
and
Let's remove the
it's to
word.
talk about restraining.
Remove the
Yeah,
word.
well, exactly. That's the problem is that you've removed the word economics from the equation, and therefore the question is no longer about economics, and then therefore I would have to disagree.
I have no idea why you would. I don't understand.
You've just said let's remove
No,
economics
no. You already said it multiple
from.
times. Repeating it another time is not going to help. I don't understand why the word economic or economics. I don't see how it impacts the question. I mean, the question is about quality of life of the individual. Like imagine,
Okay.
right? You have an individual, he prefers McDonald's over Burger King, like most humans. Most people prefer McDonald's over Burger King. But then
What?
let's assume, okay,
Let him
a
cook. Let him
person.
cook.
Please,
Okay, so
Let him cook.
please,
Let
so
him cook. Let
a
him cook. Let him
person.
cook.
please.
Okay. A person prefers McDonald's over Burger King. He just prefers.
All right.
And you're telling him,
Okay.
well, you can't go to McDonald's anymore. If you want, you can go to Burger King. Okay, so he's gonna. So he has no choice. He goes to Burger King, but you took his preference. You took it away from him. You constrained him away from his preferred choice, right? So you agree that you have reduced his quality of life. No,
No,
really?
Yeah.
no.
I
The
disagree.
correlation is so silly, and actually, the entire analysis and statement that you've just given is
Mhm.
something so silly that if you were going to use an analogy, at least use something that would actually do some physical, disabilities of some sorts.
It's not an.
Instead, oh, you
There's no.
said, da, da, da.
There's no.
Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me?
It's not an
Why do you keep
analogy.
interrupting people? Yes, it is.
What do
You
you
used an
mean?
analogy at that point in time to prove your point, but instead of proving your point, you made your point sound even more silly.
What
And
point?
why do you keep interrupting?
Wait, what?
Why do you keep
No. So
interrupting?
What's
what
wrong
he's
with it?
trying to do is
No, wait.
I don't actually know
We
which other. I'm going to try to
no,
explain it.
no. 1 second. So we bits concept.
Explain what you're trying to do.
Yeah. 1 second.
Explain
So,
what you're trying to do.
sure. But first, what's wrong with interrupting?
It's inappropriate, it's rude, and it shows a lack of an ability to communicate properly or actually say anything that's worth listening to. If you keep interrupting me, not letting me finish my statement, it shows a lack of respect and a lack of understanding of what I'm saying. And then, in correlation, you've been doing that to Beats, and I've heard you do it to other people in this room. I understand you own the room, but Princess, you're not better than everyone else.
I let everyone interrupt me all the time. I don't mind.
It's inappropriate.
Well, then
It's
tell them to stop.
Yeah.
No,
Tell them to hold on. I'm still speaking.
no. In
Just
general,
tell them just.
no. I
Yeah.
actually, my preference is that everybody interrupts each other all the time. That's like
Ew.
We're gonna get nowhere then. We're gonna get
Yeah.
fucking nowhere.
You're just being a fucking mong at that point.
no.
Yeah,
I mean,
mean,
if the
that's exactly
conversation,
chaos.
well, if it becomes chaotic, then yeah, that's no good. But
Have you ever had a real discussion before?
of course, that I mean, a
No.
real discussion is when we are allowed to interrupt each other. It's fine.
No. Because we wouldn't get anywhere with any of our discussions if we continuously interrupt each other. The entire point of a discussion is to learn and to understand and to communicate what each other believes, whilst also having some sort of insight. If you yourself are just continuously interrupting the other person because you feel as though that you have the right to, it shows a lack of an ability to have a discussion, and it lacks your ability to communicate. It's so silly, and it shows a lack of ability, and I don't respect it. I don't respect you for it at all. I think it's a joke.
I believe that the mass debater is in this chat.
Oh my god.
Everyone take a knee. Everyone
Oh
take
my
a
god.
knee.
Anyway, wee bit Scottish.
The court of your highness.
Oh my god.
Really, really highness. Okay.
Wait, wee bit Scottish. No, but it's my preference that everybody interrupts each other. You know, like when
But
you said
why?
because
So then I'll never make my point.
no, but
Essentially, is what you're saying. So then you benefit from not letting me make my point.
And-
That is exactly what you're stating right now. That is a fucking joke, and it shows the inability to have a discussion is a joke.
You'd be a very good
No.
MP, Mr. Slave. You'd be a very good member of parliament.
Exactly. You are just being an absolute joke right now. And if you think that I'm going to think that you're a good debater in any way, shape, or form with the inability to wait for someone to finish their discussion, you, my friend, are absolutely a waste of fucking air, a waste of space. Fuck off. That's my opinion on you.
is anyone here not in high school?
Oh my fucking god.
Pretty sure, like,
At work
nah.
right
I've passed college now. I'm in the army now.
I dropped out of college.
So,
Oh god damn it.
I'm in the army now.
That's awesome. Look, wee bit Scottish. Look, so like if
Look.
I
Let's be condescending. Okay. Come on.
What
are you gonna say? Are you still in high school, wee bit? That is what you just went and did right there. I'm sorry. I probably have a higher education than you. I'm a college lecturer, sunshine and rainbows, and I'm listening to you sitting and telling me that it's perfectly okay to interrupt people while they're trying to finish their point because you feel as though that your point matters more. That is why I don't respect you. I think you should shut the fuck up, honestly.
No, but wee bit Scottish. Look, like if you say something,
let's be condescending. It's okay.
What do you mean? Why do you keep
look?
Oh, because I say look.
Look, it's okay. If you feel as though that you're better than me, you could tell me.
I don't feel that. No, I don't.
Are you sure?
But I say look all the time. I can't even lie. But
I
like,
say look. I mean, I didn't know that it hurt. Like if it's hurtful, I'll try to avoid it. Tell me what. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, if you find it hurtful, tell me, and I'll.
I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think that you stating that we should interrupt each other whilst being in a discussion is going to get anywhere within the discussion. You sitting and saying that you prefer that shows your character. Why would you want people to interrupt each other and making them unable to make a point? Why would you want that? Please tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in my experience, it makes for a quicker discussion. It's like if I say something and mid-sentence you already know that you already disagree mid-sentence, then I don't need to finish in order for you to tell me that you disagree mid-sentence. And
That's silly. That is so silly. Actually, I wouldn't necessarily know until you finished. So yes, I would have to be a bit more patient to see what you're actually explaining. Maybe I have a correlation of what you're saying mid-sentence, but that doesn't mean that is guaranteed what you're stating. Meaning, if I interrupt you, disagree, and you're actually saying something else, it's considered rude. And I never got to understand your point because I interrupted you. And if you do the same for me, that's what happens. So yes, I would prefer to maybe, have a longer conversation, but I would also prefer someone to finish what they're stating. It's just going to be more beneficial. I'm going to know what you're going to say to me if I let you finish. It's silly.
Okay, I mean, anyone can interrupt me. I'll try to avoid interrupting you, wee bit Scottish, but anyone can always interrupt me. I that's my preference. Anyway, so wee bit Scottish, you said that I gave an analogy. I mean,
yes, and regarding something as simple as McDonald's and the comparison of Burger King, and how because they take away the preference of McDonald's, you are left with Burger King. Therefore, you were forced with Burger King. The analogy itself is there are two similar things. Burger King and McDonald's, you can definitely agree they are very similar. Because we are taking away McDonald's and you are now settling for Burger King, sure, you have that preference, but you understand that the difference is so minor, you wouldn't necessarily care for the McDonald's being taken away. I mean, if you really did care, that would be like a first world problem. But you see how the understanding of the analogy doesn't necessarily make sense. If you made maybe a little bit more of a wider comparison, where maybe, I don't know, McDonald's and Taco Bell. Taco Bell is a different chain, and imagine if they took away Taco Bell because you enjoy Taco Bell. You won't get the same thing because there's a difference in menu and there's a difference in product. So that analogy would kind of make a little bit more sense because there is a slight difference. However, McDonald's and Burger King, because there's such a slight difference, the analogy doesn't necessarily correlate as well as you want it to. I would kind of listen to you a bit more if there was a bit more of a differentiation.
Oh, Christ.
What I'm saying...
Unless, of course,
No, but it doesn't matter if it's a big differentiation or a tiny one. What I'm saying is mathematical. Right? If I take away what you prefer and you're left with something else, then
it's more philosophical.
No, it's mathematical. Then I've harmed your quality of life, right? That's you don't agree with that?
In a first world problem.
Fine,
sure,
whatever.
and maybe some harm.
It's a mathematical discussion.
What I'm gonna do is, because I don't understand what you mean by quality of life. Like, what do you mean by quality of life? Is it the right to choose, or like, am I taking away your rights, or is it because like I'm not letting you do something, you have a worse life than me because I could do that thing? Like, I don't get what you're trying to get at.
You don't think that your quality of life is harmed if I take away your preference and you're left with something that is your second choice?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to say that, like, okay, I get what you're trying to say there, but like at the end of the day, with the analogy you've given, it's not immediately obvious what you're trying to establish. So quality of life you're trying to establish is that if you take away something, you're going to have to settle for another. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, and that hurts your quality of life, no?
Maybe in a first world problem, but it wouldn't necessarily damage you in an extent where you feel as though it's going to physically harm you. Well, that's the thing. You could take away something that is very delicate that you do have a preference for, and it is being taken away for you. But you can, as a person, explore into different options that you might have a better preference for. That's the entire point of our society having a development. We have an expansion of all these sort of businesses and ideas and ideology where we can have anything. We have the science to literally do anything if we really tried. And because we can gain that preference through other companies and other ideas, we can technically fulfill that quality of life that you claim may be removed. Unless it was a third world problem, then yes, it would definitely affect the quality of life because there's a much bigger aspect to it.
Okay,
right?
but it's a mathematical discussion. I'm just basically defining terms. So it doesn't matter first world.
Could you explain why it's mathematical? Because this sounds more philosophical rather than mathematical.
Fine.
You asked quality of life, you asked the effect of life. Philosophy goes on to morality and the effectiveness of life. This is technically a philosophical question. You need to understand that we need to know the mathematical ideology behind it.
This is actually, I think it's right. I mean, math is philosophy, and this is basically it's under the umbrella of choice theory, which is a branch of mathematics.
Okay, but you denied earlier that it was a philosophical question, and now suddenly it is. Do you see the contradiction?
It doesn't. It's not really important to me if.
No. Do you see the contradiction?
Sorry to interrupt, but like I've been here for 5 minutes and I just don't really get what the topic is. Can you give me like a 2 words? What I guess?
Okay, so To give a bit of background context, we were trying to establish. I have if I can remember correctly, we were trying to lay down definitions of free market and capitalism, and we were doing quite well. And then Mr. Slave here built an analogy saying that if a man wanted to go to McDonald's and you restricted him and you had to move him to go to Burger King, that would eliminate his or that would harm his
quality.
what do you call it again? Quality of life.
What do you mean harm? Like it's not really about harming or not harming someone. Free market is just the way goods are being distributed in the economy. It doesn't have anything
Exactly.
to do with whether or not you have the access to any services. That's a question tackled by freedom of association or lack thereof. Has nothing to do with market economy.
No, but we all agree that if a person prefers McDonald's over Burger King, and I take away their choice to go to McDonald's, and now they're forced to go to Burger King, then we all agree that I have
You as in who? Who is you?
reduced. No, I am the police. Let's say
If you're talking about the
let me just
state interference in that sense, that would be socialism, my dude.
no.
If the state interferes into an economy, then it makes it a socialist
No,
economy.
fine. I'm just saying we all agree or disagree on the following: given a person prefers McDonald's over Burger King, I'm the police and I don't allow the person to go to McDonald's. So
You're talking about like some fucking really, really interesting sort of case where a police would ban someone from having McDonald's. What would be the reasoning for that? Because like
it doesn't
I
matter.
don't really.
It's a given, like in second grade when we were taught how to solve word problems. This is a word problem in
Yeah, but
logic.
word problems don't have anything to do with reality. If you're discussing
Yes, this is
concepts that have to
exactly.
do with
This is
reality,
nothing
then
to
you have
do.
to discuss
So
whether
okay,
you
This
right,
is
okay. So
it's like word problem.
Shalfie.
Given,
So
remember,
what he's
just let,
trying to do. Wait,
no,
hold on,
no,
Mr. Slave. Wait, hold on.
I'll just say
Let me
something.
explain it because you're
I'll
doing
just
a
say
really
something.
bad. You're
I'll,
doing a really bad.
I'll,
No, wait. I've
I'll
got one
give
thing.
you.
I'll
I'll
let
give
you
you the
say.
floor.
I'll let you
I'll
say.
give
No.
you. I'll give you the floor. I'll give you the.
You said you're okay with interrupting. I'm
I'll
interrupting you,
give
and I'm
you
going to
the
say something, and
floor.
I'll let
And let
you.
me just say
Yeah,
one tiny thing.
let's.
See, you don't like
No, but
interrupting now, do you? You see how
okay.
you don't
So
like it now?
We're,
Shalfie.
we're
Real
Yeah, go,
quickly,
negotiating.
go
what
ahead.
he's trying to say is he's trying to give an analogy and basically saying if you restrict one thing and force someone to do something else, that's harming their quality of life. He's just done it really badly. That's what
Yeah,
he's
but
trying.
what does it have to do with discussing market economy or not market economy in general?
I don't
So
fucking know.
I'm
Ask him.
trying. I'm trying
I
Apparently,
have
it's
no idea.
mathematical
I'm trying to
to some extent.
prove. I'm
I don't
trying to
fucking know.
prove that the freer the economy, the higher the quality of life. So we're starting
No,
from
I don't disagree.
right, but the people before they were communists and they ran away. They created their own
They weren't
room.
communists. They weren't communists.
Hmm.
One was an anarchist, and the other one was a socialist. They weren't communist.
Yeah, they were communists. They said we're gonna create our own room to discuss
It's not
communism.
what communism is.
They're commies. They're commies.
What
So
was a fucking anarchist? That has got nothing to do with communism. There
he
ain't
said
even a
he's a
state.
social
No,
democrat. He's a commie.
No, he said so. He said that he
there's
used to be a social democrat.
there's technically a movement called anarcho-communism. So
Yeah,
Nah, but he
there's
said that he said that he disagrees entirely with the form of a state, which would then go against communism because then that would mean he disagrees with communes
anyway,
and the idea of
fine.
the state collectively giving or distributing the wealth to the people. He said he believes that the wealth
Anyway,
should already be with the people, which,
so
in my opinion,
Yeah,
is
but then if he is a communist, then probably he believes in the transitionary period between the
yeah, he's a commie.
current status quo
Yeah,
and whatever else
yeah,
later on.
he's a commie.
yeah.
It's not critical. The point is, because of them, I wanted to proceed to prove that a free economy elevates the quality of life. So I started, they disagreed. So I said, okay, let's start from the simplest case I can think of, which is the McDonald's Burger King analogy. But
Yes, Fog, we're still talking about this.
Oh my god, you're still on this.
oh,
Yes.
so here
Yeah.
is Fog is back. Fog, are you a communist? Yes or no?
No.
Technically, no,
Technically,
but I'm sympathetic.
there you go. Okay, good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so does everyone agree that if I take away the choice, the preferred choice of a person to go to
Can we just
McDonald's,
agree to move on from that? I feel like it's just gonna be a fucking circle jerk.
I don't think your
Yeah.
analogy is going to go through anywhere. I think it was a terrible analogy. I don't think you've actually explained anything, and I don't know, mate. You're not gonna get us anywhere.
Mr. Slave,
Yeah.
I suggest you watch some YouTube videos on economics or maybe read a book before you start streaming about this.
Okay.
Funnily enough, this is actually my field, you know. So I'm just kind of listening to Mr. Slave over here, and I'm thinking, dude.
What's your field? Economics?
Sociology and economics. So because they are intertwined, I have a master's in sociology.
I love that. Yes, social life is directly linked to the economic status of a nation. Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, the economy is entirely constructed a social construct.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if we're being honest, I'm sorry, mate. I just don't know if I can
Relevant. We gotta
communicate with
mog
you, Mr.
everybody.
Slave.
Wait,
I just don't know.
We gotta
I
mog
just don't
everybody.
know if you understand sociology enough to an extent to kind of go and grasp economics.
All right, guys. I gotta quickly go.
All
It's
right.
about text.
All
I'm gonna go have dinner with some New Year's. So you guys have a lovely day.
All right.
I'll see you later.
Good luck in the army. Anyway, we bit Scottish. So,
Mr. Slave. Sorry.
wait, why are you
You
so?
don't sound Scottish.
Why? Yeah, you don't sound Scottish to me.
Oh my god.
Yo, masturbator.
Yeah.
You got any geek bars or Raz bars there, buddy?
Oh, dude.
Okay, everybody.
You're talking
stop.
about the geek
Yeah.
bars?
Okay, we're
Yeah, but
having
you're talking
a
about the
very
geek
we're having a
bars?
very deep discussion. So,
I'm turning
About
you
my
into the
ethnicity,
ATF.
apparently.
no, I'm kidding. You sound
You sound Scottish
sorry.
to me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Slave. You are just not competent enough for me to continue to have a discussion with you. Until
We're
you
talking
read
about
a
slavery?
sociology or an economics book, please just shut up.
Go on him, girl boss.
wait, Scottish.
You know, you have options like the Oxford sociology, that the 4th edition that came out maybe in 2014, that gives you a whole analogy on sociologists like Marx or
Marx.
Weber or even Hochschild. You could go down these economics.
Wait,
I don't know what this bitch is
factors,
talking
and you
about.
can.
wait,
Well, yes, technically Marx would have been a sociologist. He was an economic sociologist.
wait. Karl Marx, Das Kapital.
Karl Marx created Marxism. He was a fucking
Yes.
commie.
Wait, I read.
Yes, but he was
I-
also a sociologist that disagreed with the idea of industrialization.
Wait, I read Das Kapital.
Well-
That's the first economics book I ever read.
Honestly, I have a hard time believing you read that. Honestly, I opened that book and I opened other books like the German ideology. That shit's too dense for me to read.
I literally, I began
Mein
studying.
Kampf is an amazing book.
I agree. So I started my
Do you have a
economics.
qualification in economics?
I started my economics journey as.
You think anyone on Discord's qualified to talk about economics?
Oh my god.
I mean, we did Scottish apparently. Yeah.
So I actually started my economics journey as a communist after I heard Professor Richard Wolff, who is a Marxist communist. So I became a Marxist communist.
That is not my question. I'm sorry, why do you keep ignoring my questions? Are you unable to listen? My question was, did you study economics? If no, then why are you sitting saying, I went down my economics journey as a communist? That does not matter. I'm asking, have you studied it? Have you went to university? Have you went to a local college to learn economics? Have you?
I'm confused. Are you in favor of communism or not in favor of communism?
Holy shit, Malibu, you're retarded. We're not talking about that.
The name of the room.
Come on, Mr. Slave.
The name, yeah,
Ask-
Weebits.
Answer my fucking question.
Yes, Weebits Scottish. I'm sorry. So the answer to your question, and then I'll answer Mr. Malibu's most wanted. Let me see the name.
Oh my God, Mr. Slave, spit it out.
Wanted. So the answer to Weebits Scottish is I don't disclose personal information.
Okay, so you haven't studied economics. That is all you needed to tell me. That is literally what you're saying right there. You have not studied economics. You were bullshitting me. You have not read a book about economics. You clearly don't know anything about economics, so please, be quiet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's definitely Scottish, not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're just calling you, mate.
Oh my God. We've been Scottish. You must have read it.
My last name's Arnett.
No. You must have red hair. Right? She has red hair? Oh, you
Okay,
have red
Mr.
hair?
Slade, don't be racist.
I'm bold.
Like, we already know you're
I'm
retarded.
sorry, mate. You are just a fucking joke. How could you just be like, you're dodging every question, you're unable to actually answer anything. You then, when you realize that you've been caught for lying and bullshitting, you're now saying, I don't disclose personal information. Saying whether or not you've studied in economics isn't necessarily personal information. You're not stating the school, you're not stating where you live, you're not stating anything personal, you're just stating whether or not you've studied or you have not studied economics. If you're unable to do so, that means because you are hiding the fact that you have not studied economics. So therefore, I'm starting to believe that you haven't actually opened a book around economics and sociology and social constructs. And then clearly you don't understand the difference between philosophy and mathematics. I don't know what to tell you, mate. It's so silly.
Okay.
You are being silly.
Okay.
This is
I'm the
actually silly.
refill in, man.
You are incompetent in every way, shape, or form. You are hilarious. And as earlier, you were saying that you think in a scientific way. Sunshine and rainbows. I don't know if I believe you.
Okay, we bit Scottish. I'll answer your questions, but first let me address.
Dude, stop saying I'll answer your questions, but first, like, just spit it out.
Okay.
Dude, I'm just
I'm
confused
like
on where
so
the
fucking done with
philosophy
this
is
fucking
mathematics.
discussion.
Wait,
The
Malibu.
incompetence is unbelievable.
Wait, I need to first
I
address.
mean, you could argue, you could say I have two individual one-lighters, but I have two lighters. There's nothing philosophical about that. I'm confused.
Okay, so about Malibu's most wanted original question. The name of the room that I created is Communism is Bad. So I am against communism.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think you
me
understand
too.
it.
I would fucking, dude. My favorite clip on the internet is that old vet going, "Give me a gun, I'll mow these fucking commies down right now." And I'm just saying, I was like, dude, it is 2020, dog.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad you don't consider yourself a communist anymore, because one less retard to associate themselves with that, label.
Oh no, I'm not a communist at all.
I'm not talking to you,
completely
Malibu. I know
despise
your
it.
brain's
I
about
believe
as
that
smooth and pink as
communism
your
should be
beanie.
politically cleansed. No, at a genuine level, I believe Marxism and communism in a whole should be politically cleansed from any sort of fucking government or any sort of ideology.
Okay, back to wee bit Scottish. Wee bit Scottish.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm not associating with you anymore. You're just too gone. You're a fucking Mongo, man.
Okay.
Wait a minute, so is she the one that supports communism?
I'm not even a communist, which is the
I'm so
best
confused
part.
about what we're arguing about.
I'm arguing the fact that this person clearly doesn't understand economics.
Yeah. So
this is a conversation and doesn't understand what mathematics and philosophy separated. You don't understand the difference between mathematics and philosophy, for fuck's sake. Oh my god, it's
Oh my
so
god, that's
funny.
it. That's originally what I told him to go fuck himself over.
lighter.
He couldn't understand the fact
Now
that
I have
mathematics is
cool.
not like a science.
I
It's a
can't
fucking
actually
language.
cope. It's like, how could you be like, I'm talking about mathematically, but bring up a philosophical analogy that wasn't even a good analogy? It's so silly. It shows a lack of an ability to communicate. You could have
this one
used a
lighter or
different
two
and
lighters?
better analogy. Shut up, dude. You could have used a better analogy. You could have at least bullshitted to some extent that you had some knowledge of economics, if you had some knowledge of what communism was, but you don't even know the aspects of communism clearly, and you clearly just don't want to answer any questions because there's an excuse behind it. You're silly for that. You're genuinely silly and you're making me frustrated. I studied for years. I worked really hard. I got my degree in teaching. I got my degree in sociology, which involves social economics and economics. That's very valid and important in sociology. And you're sitting there telling me, oh, well, I cannot disclose whether or not I'm studying economics. Come on, man. And then you're like bullshitting saying, I don't mind interrupting, but then you start bitching about how someone is interrupting you earlier. You've contradicted yourself so many times. I just don't understand it. I don't know how you manage it. It baffles me. I'm sorry, mate. You baffle me in so many ways.
I think his mom pressed the cigarette a little too hard when she was using his head as an ashtray when he was a baby.
And I'm a fucking communist. That's the worst part. I'm social democratic at best, but I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, all communists are terrible, or saying, oh, all capitalists are terrible. I'm trying to give this dude some sort of benefit of the doubt to understand how to at least make an analogy. Mathematics, scientific way of thinking. Yes, that's actually called analytic. An analytic way of seeing things. But no, it's scientific apparently. Using some sort of intellect apparently is all science and voodoo magic. Sunshine. Jesus fucking Christ.
Weebits Cottage, I don't understand why you're getting so upset.
I don't think you understand anything.
No, you clearly don't.
Anyway, so...
And then you had the gall, the absolute gall to say, so are you all high school students here or something? To then not be able to answer any of my fucking questions. You are the high school student here, Sunshine.
Okay, well, do you want to have a conversation or no? Because, like, what's going on?
No, I don't want to have a conversation with you. You're a fucking moron. But I've had my rant. I think you're a tad bit slow in the head. I'm going to go into a different room, and hopefully we'll never cross paths again.
Oh my god. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Imagine someone like that reaching like a decision-making position. Absolutely terrifying. Wow. Terrifying. Okay. Anything else that killer shows up at Fuente? Yeah, what's going on with Nick Fuente? Somebody tried to kill him. Mom horrified after 12-year-old son's confession. America's private health insurance disaster. Yeah, there's nothing interesting. This is these videos that I thought were actually very interesting. Nothing is interesting. Show me the math. Let's look at this. This looks maybe a little bit interesting. No, two theories of quantum mechanics. Yeah, I've heard his entire interview. There was nothing fascinating. Not interesting. Biology. No. This could be interesting. Not interesting. No. Yikes. Declares war. Javier Milei. Passport bro loses it. Speed of modern nuclear weapons. Houthis. Google is destroying the internet site owners claim. What? The deadliest fire pit material. A swift introduction to geometric algebra. Nuked. Anyway. Yeah. This is already 3 weeks old, so there's nothing here. Hello.
Yeah,
Yo. What's up?
great.
You're a Muslim?
Yes.
Nice. Are you a communist?
No way.
No way. Could you hold on 1 second? I have a call. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. So sorry. So you're not a communist? Are you a socialist? Oh, you can't hear me. Oh my god, he shut down his mic. Okay. I need to send someone a message. Hello?
Yeah.
So are you a socialist?
What is socialist?
I mean, I asked you if you're a communist. You said no.
Yes.
So are you a communist?
No.
Are you a socialist?
No.
Are you a capitalist?
I don't have any idea about economics.
Oh. So maybe you are. I mean, what does that mean? I don't know how that's possible. Like, I know if you're a Muslim, then you don't charge interest, right? You're against charging interest on a loan, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's in like an economic position. So you have that economic position. You're against charging interest for a loan.
Yes.
Okay. So 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 if I so you're right, so you're against, so if you ran the world, you wouldn't allow people to charge interest, right? You think charging interest is evil.
If I give loans to another one, I will not charge extra money.
Have you ever given anyone a loan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you don't think it makes sense that if I give you a loan, then when you give it back, you should give it back with something extra?
I mean, it's my religious tradition, and it's also a Jewish religious traditions to don't give loan with interest. But the basic difference is that the Muslims gives loans to whom, I mean, he can gives to loans to anyone with but he can't charge interest. But the Jewish can charge interest to non-Jewish, not between the Jewish. So yeah.
Okay, but do you think, like, let's say, um, let's say I have money and you come and you tell me that you need money and I want to give you a loan. I have a lot of money. I can give loans. But if I give everyone a loan and they don't pay back, like some of them are not going to pay back, right? Statistically speaking, not everyone is going to pay back. Like some people will never be able to pay back.
Okay.
Like some will not. So, let's say I'm like I'm a banker. I'm a rich guy. I want to give loans. I want to help people.
Okay.
So I want to give out as much, I want to be able to give out as much as possible. But some of them, statistically speaking, not everyone is going to pay me back. So in order to compensate for the ones that are not going to pay me back, I need to charge a little bit extra from everyone, right? Just to break even. Right? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you see why charging interest is critical? Just to break even. Just if I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help my brothers and sisters. Like I have money and I want to be able to give them money, to loan them. I want to be able to help them.
So I think if they can give me loan backs, I should take over their other properties.
No, but they're bankrupt. They have nothing, right? So let's say,
If they have nothing, they will have to sell their kidney, their eyes, their lungs.
okay, I mean, let's say let, let's say they died. Let's say they're gone. Not that everybody's well intentioned. Everybody's good willed. But sometimes things go sideways. Not everything works out. So I gave out loans. Not everyone pays back. Some people default on the loan. They can't pay back. For whatever reason. So, statistically speaking, in order to break even, I have to charge interest to compensate for the loss, for the statistical loss. Right? Do you agree?
Yeah.
So, do you see why charging interest is really critical for society to function?
I see.
And this proves that whoever wrote the law, like in the Jewish religion and the Muslim religion, whoever invented this law cannot be God, because this is it's not wise to forbid interest, charging interest, because you're stopping people from helping each other. You're destroying society. You're harming society. Like, let's say I'm a Muslim and I want to help my Muslim brothers and sisters. But if I help them, I go bankrupt. So I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna help anyone. So you're forcing me to not help my brothers and sisters because you're forbidding me from charging interest. I have to be able to charge interest just in order to break even. I'm not even talking about covering the cost of running the bank. I have to cover the cost of running the bank. I have workers. I have to cover my costs. I have a family to feed. So I what do you so you're forcing me to not run a bank. You're telling me don't run a bank. So if I don't have a bank, then who's going to help? Who's going to give out loans to people who need a loan?
Yeah.
So you're harming the poor by forbidding the charging of interest. You're harming the poor, which
Why
means
is communism bad?
that's a good question. So you think communism is good?
Um, like I don't have a solid opinion on it, but then I'd like to know why it's bad.
Okay. So we were just discussing charging interest, like banking, the basics of banking. So do you
Okay.
do you are you pro or against banking?
Am I pro or against interest, you mean?
Yeah.
Against, maybe.
Okay. So women, I am Muslim. Do you want to explain to Taha your position on charging interest?
No, I will not charge interest.
Mr. Slave, are you a capitalist?
Yes, I am a capitalist.
Okay. What do you think of the oversupply of goods and services which will never be used?
Well, in theory, that should never happen.
It happens, right?
That's a different question. I'm saying in theory, in a perfect market, in a free market, it should never happen.
Do you think US has a free market?
Somewhat. It's relatively free. It's actually, there's a free market index. The United States is.
Okay.
Mhm. The United States is considered to be relatively, well, relatively free, but
No, any market where people can freely come and start selling their goods and services is actually like any market, right? Where people can come from different places and set up their stores and sell their services can be considered as a free market economy. Am I wrong or am I right on that?
it's a spectrum. Like anything else, it's a spectrum. There is an index.
Can you be like okay, go ahead. I'll listen.
There is an index of free market countries that the United States is actually not that free. I think it's like number 35. So it's pretty much not, it's considered to be not free. You know, top top 10, top 10%. I can look it up. The United States is considered to be, it used to be freer and it dropped a couple of notches.
Can you just okay, can you just define what a free market is? You said it's a spectrum. Can you tell me what this spectrum is? Like all of its shades?
I mean, the shades are free and not free and anything in between.
Okay.
Like,
tell me all the things that are in between free and not free.
It's not really what I can tell. There are organizations do the research and publish their findings. And
Yeah, you seem to be aware of it. I'd like to know what they say.
I know very little. I'm more into theory than into actual empirics. But the little that I do know is that
Okay, so you think that in a free market economy and like an ideal capitalistic economy, goods and services will never waste, yeah?
It isn't here. I didn't. As much as we agreed with her politically about capitalism, Mr. Slave, I cannot stand Scottish women. All I hear is Brave speaking.
all right, Malibu.
Sorry.
It's okay. Malibu, me and Taha are having an interesting discussion. Yes, Taha, what was the question again, please? I'm sorry.
I'm saying, I'm confirming with you if in an ideal capitalistic economy, like society, there would never be any, like there would never be goods and services that would go unutilized, yeah?
I mean, it's called clearance. So the market clearance. So the market is cleared, meaning all the supply is cleared off the shelves theoretically. So theoretically, in a perfectly efficient market, as
Okay, which country is that as for now? Like, is there any country where this has this sort of idea of capitalism is perfectly running fine?
it's a theory. It's an ideal. So I don't think this can ever happen.
I don't know. Like, are you trolling me?
What do you
Like, are you
mean?
trolling right now?
What do you mean? Am I trolling?
Are you just trying to make fun of me and then, you know, in a way that it's like very subtle, not like engage with the conversation seriously enough, I guess?
You don't have to be here. You can leave. Yeah,
No, because I just think like you're not taking my question seriously.
then leave. Have a great rest of your day.
I can, but I'm confirming if that's what you're doing.
If that's how you feel, then you should leave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm not saying that. What I mean, what I feel might be wrong, right?
If you have any
Feelings can be wrong.
Fine.
Like it's possible.
But I don't know. Like if you feel uncomfortable with the way
No, I'm not feeling uncomfortable. I'm just feeling that maybe you're not serious about this conversation, and that's why I'm asking you if you are or if you are not.
I am. I'm very serious. I actually have a YouTube channel with hundreds of videos on the topic. So
Oh, what is your channel name?
You can click my avatar and it shows up. There's a link. You can click it. You can go check it out. Let me try and copy and paste it in the side chat.
I only see 3 videos in your channel.
Go to the live. In the live, there's 500. Yes, Philip. What's up?
Hi, hello.
Hello. Are you Indian?
No, I'm Filipino.
Oh,
Do I sound Indian?
No. I mean, now
Oh,
you sound more Filipino now, and yeah. What's up? Are you a
uh,
communist?
uh, not really. No, no.
What are you?
I actually don't know the other term, but uh, I'm more like pro democracy, like something like that.
Communism.
What's the opposite of communism?
Usually considered capitalism.
Oh yeah. So I'm that
Oh,
probably,
nice.
but
Oh. Mm.
yeah. Yeah, like I'm pro capitalism. Like I think people should have like the chance to succeed more in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think I should be able to sell my organs if I want to?
If you can be allowed to sell your organs.
Yeah.
Uh well well that's a hard question because some organs like you can live without,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for example, like the kidney. Some people actually sell their kidneys, right?
Mm-hmm.
To like if it's for like a very important reason, like you have to feed your family or something, like yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And if it wouldn't be like detrimental to your health, like it's still your life at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
as long as as long as it will not lead to like a form of suicide or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Let's say I want to sell my life.
Your life.
Yeah. Like, let's say you like hunting people, and
Yeah.
I want you to hunt me to death. In
Okay.
exchange, you give me $1 million. I'm fine with that, so that my children get $1 million. Are you fine with?
Okay.
Are you
That
fine? Mm-hmm. It's good.
yeah, that's that for so you're saying that you're willing to risk your life for your family.
I'm giving up my life for my family. Yeah.
Or yeah, like that's actually heroic, like for me. Like
But you're gonna come and murder me. But
oh like me myself, like I will murder you.
yeah, that's the deal. The deal is that
Well,
you like murdering people. You or somebody. Let's say Mr. X. Mr. X loves murdering people. So, but he's very rich. So he's willing to pay me $1 million to murder me. So he's gonna give
yeah,
me $1 million goes into escrow, into a
mhm,
temporary lock, and
yeah.
then he murders me, and then the money is released and goes to my children.
Well, if that's like the thought experiment, then like I wouldn't agree in that case because it's kind of violent and
But it's my
yeah, cause
it's
like
my life, right? You like if I committed
yeah,
suicide, you wouldn't care. It's not like you would care.
yeah. But like for me that like that will be different to the organ donation because when you're donating an organ, you're not actually supposed to die, right? Like, but in this case, that you want me to kill you to give you money, I think that will be immoral, in my opinion.
Do you guys believe, do you think, or at least, communism is bad?
Yeah, I think communism is bad.
How is
Yeah.
that bad? Like, it's like a really good system. It's created a lot of jobs and like fucking shit like that.
Created a lot of jobs?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't even know what that
It
means.
allowed a lot of people to prosper. It gave like a lot of money to a lot of people.
It gave money? What do you mean? Give me an example. Where? When? Maybe we have a
Soviet
misunderstanding.
Union. Soviet Union was a utopia by all standards. Not by all standards, by most standards. It's like most people want to be like live like Soviet Union today.
Are you Russian?
No. Why would I question you? What the fuck?
Did you live under communism?
Never.
So how do you know
That's
which?
why I want.
Mhm.
That's why I want it, because I lack it. Like I can feel its lack.
Where
Like
do you live now, if I may ask?
Turkey.
Uh-huh. So what do you mean by communism? Give me an example of.
Like communism is when like poor people get the same wage as like rich people.
Okay. Is there any place in the world today that has communism, do you think?
China.
China
Yeah.
today is communist?
Yeah, it's a shining example.
I think China is a communist country, right?
What do you mean it's communist? Well, like, how do
That's
you
their style of government.
how do you
China.
how do you define communism? What's your definition? How is China communist? By what measure? By what definition?
I'm
Pseudo?
actually not.
What? Pseudo? You gonna answer?
What?
I asked you, how
Uh,
is China communist? Like, how do you measure communism?
okay, it's a worker state that
So
is
what?
based on
So what?
the free of the
What state?
it's based on the freedom of it's a worker state.
It's a what state? Worker state? Virtual state?
Worker state, workers.
Workers?
It is
Yeah.
that.
How do you? But
It's a good job, Anna.
measure? How do you measure that
How
China is
do you measure
communist? By what measure?
Chinese communist?
By
First
what?
of all, China is like look at its flag. It's red and yellow. Like
No, no. But how do you
Red and yellow,
measure?
red and
How do
yellow.
you measure that China is communist? Like,
uh okay,
By volume,
look at
fucking
its economy.
volume, gram,
It's like
weight.
there's no private enterprise. It's all owned by the people equally and democratically. They elect the
what?
leaders.
There's no private business in China?
No, there isn't.
So when you buy stuff like from Temu, when you buy online, it's not from a manufacturer? So who are you buying from?
How is it surprising to you?
Is what?
Yeah, the money goes to the people.
I can't understand what you're saying. What? Your connection is bad.
The money goes to the people. Like
What
when
is
you buy something from Temu, like every person in China gets equally paid.
Okay, do you have any evidence for this claim? I've never heard this from anyone before. So do you have any evidence? How do you know this?
Okay, I
You're yeah, I'm
my
listening.
my cousin's girlfriend worked at Temu once, and they said the working conditions were really good.
Okay, that has nothing to do with my question. You said that when I buy from Timu, the money goes to the people.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you mean by people?
So
Mhm.
so the people like party members and like fucking
What? What do you mean
important people.
The money goes to important people?
Yeah.
That's communism?
Well, it goes to big people, like important people.
What about the
Instead of
regular? So
instead of capitalism, where the money comes from like slave labor, and it goes to fat people or like people that are unqualified, like they have too much money and time on their hands, so they want more money and time. That's the kind of people it goes to. Fat, lonely white men.
what do you mean? In China, there's white men in China?
No, that's why China is not a racist shithole like America.
So when I buy from Timu, the money goes to the people?
The money goes to the people, exactly.
Meaning, so let's say there's like 1 billion people in China. So if I pay $1 to Timu, the dollar gets split over the 1 billion people equally?
No, so it's not a perfect communist state. It's like a transition socialist country. So the money gets evenly distributed between the most important people in the world.
In the world or in China?
Like in China, but like hopefully it will be the world when China conquers the other countries.
Wait a minute. When I pay Timu $1 for a product, the money goes to, let's say there's 1 billion people in China. Who does the money go to?
Like it goes to Xi Jinping.
Only to him?
No, like Timu is owned by PDD owning holdings, and it's like it's a public company.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, its key person is Li Chen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it goes to Li Chen, and Li Chen lives in a communist country, so most of it goes as tax money to Xi Jinping.
Mm-hmm. And then that's it? It goes into Xi Jinping's pocket?
No, not Xi Jinping spends it to better people's lives.
What? I can't hear you.
The Xi Jinping then takes that money and builds roads and like shit like that help people improve their life quality.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's a beautiful system where everybody gets equally paid. It's fair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so are you moving to China?
Fuck no, it's a poor ass country.
So,
but Norway is like China. I'll go to Norway.
mm-hmm. Okay. Anything
Because
else?
Norway is a socialist country.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you wanted to say?
About what?
I don't know. Whatever. Any topic.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Oh no. Why not?
There's no evidence that there is a God.
There's like ample evidence.
Mm-hmm. Okay, like what? What's the evidence?
So scientists have observed that we live in a holistic system.
Holistic?
Yeah. So the newest science methodology includes and involves a methodology where we accept the possibility of the godlike divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new science paradigm.
Okay, look, I'm really Having a very hard time understanding you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize the importance of communism and God.
No. I'll see you later, man.
Okay, I'll leave.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if that guy was serious or
So
joking.
this video is a video.
That was
So
bizarre.
how about
That was just bizarre.
suicide? Do you see that one as
Um,
explicable?
Well, I haven't thought about that to the same extent. Have you thought about it? I mean,
Yes.
okay.
So, all
I
right.
mean, I can easily think of psychological explanations and mimetic explanations, perhaps. Genetic explanations of suicide. Do you have them?
Well, I think in principle, many of these things come back to the same couple of places where our field has instantiated a bad assumption. And so the assumption about individual selection, where lineage selection might be a more powerful concept, has caused us, I think, to miss the boat on all three of these characteristics. What I would say is, let's take an example of the Middle East, for example. Let's say you have two populations in the Middle East, and both of them correctly recognize that 500 years from now, they are not both likely to be there, that it is likely to be one or the other, but not both. Were that the case, then any fitness that was realized in the present day would be more or less meaningless if you were in the population that blinked out 200 years from now. So you would find a rational investment in behaviors that discounted individual fitness and prioritized lineage fitness. In other words, you would see extraordinary levels of self-sacrifice in the interest of ensuring that the population to which the individual doing the sacrifice belonged was the one that continued to exist. I don't know how clear that was, but the basic idea is in extraordinary circumstances, like, for example, a piece of land that isn't getting any bigger and is fully inhabited and has competing lineages that cannot simply live peaceably together, that suicidal self-sacrifice might be rational. Now, again, naturalistic fallacy being what it is, just because something is doesn't mean it ought to be, and I'm not defending it as a good thing, but I'm saying, can we understand it rationally? If we think about adaptation occurring at the lineage level, I think it's not hard to see cases where suicide, I mean, really it's one step past getting on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how to disprove what he's saying. Something feels wrong. So, the evolution of suicide.
On a ship and going over the horizon to see if you can find a new landmass that nobody's discovered. That's a near suicidal behavior that's somewhat comprehensible. Actual suicide can make sense if the circumstances are extraordinary enough. And I would also say closer to home that if we look at
Suicide is depression. Like when you're depressed, you're suicidal. You're suicidal. Why? What's the evolution of depression? Interesting.
cases where people commit suicide in our own culture, very frequently they are beset by the sense that they are beyond worthless.
The people who commit suicide are young homosexuals. Statistically speaking, I think that's most suicides.
They have no value, that their existence is simply taking up resource. And so you can imagine that this could be a matter of kin selection or lineage selection. If you, and I think most people who believe that in our culture are not calculating correctly. They have bad data on what value they might contribute. But nonetheless, were you to be triggered to imagine that you had no value and that you were simply burning up resources, then this is a rational course of action.
I do not think it's helpful to couch this kind of explanation in Darwinian terms. Darwinian evolution is about the natural selection of replicators. And the primary replicators we're talking about are genes, and the vast majority of biological evolution, and you've been advocating the priority of this, genetic selection.
Right. If you come up with if you feel that you're worthless and you don't have any children, then no one is going to inherit.
Communism, good. Very, very good. Communism is stealing from people so that I can have a yacht too.
What?
Very good. What?
I don't understand.
Uh,
Are you pro?
You know the yeah, I'm super pro communism. I think we should have a giant state that steals money from successful people and gives it to retards.
Okay. So you're against communism.
That's what communism is. No, I fully support giving money to retards. I want our civilization to go extinct, basically. And that's the fastest way to get there.
Oh my god.
We're just dumb predator monkeys. We shouldn't exist. Let's just re-roll. That's my opinion.
Oh my god. That's genius.
Oh my god.
That is genius.
Is it?
That is brilliant. I've never heard anyone destroy communism so quickly, so permanently, so perfectly.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah. How do you do communism without giving all the power to the state to leverage violence to take stuff from successful people to give it to poor people who are unsuccessful because they're shit?
yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
But I wish that were communism. I don't even think that's communism. I don't think that is the problem with communism, and I don't think that is what destroys civilization. Like what you described is still a trillion times better than what ends up destroying a civilization through communism. What you're saying, that's not the problem. That's a problem, but it's a minute, an insignificant problem.
So what you're saying is the problem with communism is genetics, and we should do eugenics to wipe out the commie gene.
Not even that. Even that's insignificant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because in communism, you're selecting, right? You're creating a super bug, right? When you kill a bug, you're creating a super bug, right? When you
Like a bug or a super duper bug or just normal super bug?
A super duper bug. Like when you try and kill a bug, you're not killing the bug, you're killing the bugs that you see. But the ones that are hiding, the ones that end up surviving, you don't see them, and they're the smart ones. So when you go to war, you're creating your enemy. You're selecting for a better enemy. So communism creates smarter capitalists. It improves the capitalists. You're creating super duper capitalists because
we have to beat them every time.
Because you're beating them, you're taking away from them, you're forcing them to be even more genius, even bigger geniuses. So communism helps capitalism. So that's not the problem. What you're describing is insignificant. That's not the problem. I wish it end. I wish communism ended just by stealing from the rich and giving to the dumb poor. I wish that would be a utopia if that were to happen, relative to what actually happens. What actually happens is
the state gets all the power.
Even that's, I mean, anyway, I think the problem that ends up with communism is that everything comes to a screeching halt. Yeah, because the state takes over everything. It's not just the stealing. If the state kept on stealing from the haves and giving it to the have-nots, that's a utopia. The problem is that the state halts production by force. The state keeps encroaching on the production until the production halts. The state takes away the incentive, and not just the incentive, it creates incentives. Anyway.
So it's almost like when people aren't rewarded, they don't do any cool shit and they just stay at home and rap.
Yeah. That's the problem. The problem is
that makes sense because every communist I talk to also wants me to listen to their SoundCloud.
To listen to their SoundCloud? What do you mean SoundCloud? What's on their SoundCloud?
Trash music.
Oh, they make music?
Yeah, like every one of them. I don't know why.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm out of breath. I've been walking for like an hour.
Why?
Why not?
Oh,
For dating apps, that's why.
a dating app?
Yeah, that's why.
What do you mean dating app?
I don't know. Like Plenty of Fish, like a dating app.
But why do you walk?
I don't know, to maintain a six-pack.
You have a six-pack?
Not really anymore. That's why I'm walking. I'm getting bored. I thought I might participate in the fruits of biology. Do what now?
The fruits of biology?
Yeah, flicking the bean, smashing the snake. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You're not from around here.
Where are you from?
Everywhere.
Are you Aussie?
No, I'm from America.
America? Where?
I'm in Texas, but I travel.
Where are you traveling?
Well, I just got to Texas recently. I came from Montana.
Montana? I've never met anyone from Montana.
I'm not from Montana. It's just one of my favorite places to go.
Why?
It's amazing. It's like the best state there is.
Why?
I don't know. Alaska might be better, but I haven't really been yet.
Why Montana?
They have Glacier National Park, crazy mountains. Just everything is mostly amazing. The scenery. There's barely anyone lives there.
Can you buy a farm?
The capital, Helena. No, you could, but I wouldn't.
Why not?
The capital has like 40,000 people, and that's it.
That's amazing. Why is it so? Why are there so few people?
I don't know, but it's a good thing. So I hope it stays that way.
Why?
Because there's lots of land. Like half of Montana's land is public land. You can just camp anywhere. Camping.
Yeah, that's that. Public
Yeah.
means government owned.
Yeah, I don't like it. That's one of the few things I like being public is having public land.
Why? What's wrong? What if somebody?
Because I can just
Mhm.
I can go camp and live there for free off grid.
So what if it were to be private?
Then you can't go there.
I mean, why not? You would just pay for it instead of it being free.
Yes. There are plenty of private places you can pay to camp and shit.
I mean, public just means that everyone pays, but only a few
Yeah.
use.
It's not really. A lot of it's almost entirely unmaintained.
Eggman says to tell you hi.
I don't know who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he thinks he knows you. I'll tell you his.
Eggman. I haven't been here in like a year, so I don't know who he is.
He is dev off my F duty. They them. I'm a math guy making a math server. If you are up, DM me. Looking for friends. Let's hope I find some soon. I don't know.
Ask him if category theory explains the quality of masturbation.
I'll ask him. But You know, you sound like Dr. Avi.
Avi who?
Dr. Avi is like a vegetarian, a vegan, sorry, a vegan guy. He's the leader of the vegans.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know that guy. That's for
What is your server? Can I find out if somebody has a server? Like if I click.
I guess you have to ask.
Yeah.
Only if you're both in it, you can see mutual servers.
Okay.
That's it.
So I can't. So, okay, where do you stand on Israel? What?
Palestine is the bad guy, and I don't care at the same time. That's where I stand.
What about Putin? Are you pro Putin?
No, he's just a bully, commie.
Mm-hmm.
If Islam is involved, then Islam is always the bad guy, and I will die on this hill.
No.
Yes, always.
No, I don't think so. What about freedom of religion?
I don't support that when it comes to Islam.
What do you mean? That's like that's the First Amendment.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm a long-termist. I'm not a. I used to be a libertarian, but now I realize it doesn't work because most people can't self-govern, and so we need to find a way to get rid of all the shitty people who can't self-govern. Then we can have libertarianism.
what does it mean self-govern?
Libertarianism works if, like, the median IQ of your population's like 115. When it's like 80, it doesn't work. I don't know.
So if I don't understand your position. So you're like I thought you were a capitalist, but now I'm rethinking.
I am.
Yeah, but you. I mean,
I'm a hardcore free market guy. That's different from economy. That's a different topic. That's
so why do you
do
care?
we allow X
Why
to
do you?
participate?
But
It's a
why?
different.
Yeah, okay. Well, why do you care what religion somebody is? Why do you care?
Because some religions are insanely harmful to civilization, very violent. They preach like values that are disgusting, like really horrible, like Islam.
But you know that, like in Dubai, have you ever heard of Dubai? Have you ever, like the
Yeah,
Burj?
from the UAE. Yeah, Burj Khalifa, tallest building.
So you don't think that's like a wonderful place, relatively?
They didn't achieve it.
What?
They have that because we allowed them to.
What?
We should take it.
Wait, what?
I think we
Go ahead.
that only exists because we allow it to.
What do you mean?
They can only build that because of what we've invented, a non-Muslim Western enlightened society. If it wasn't for us, they'd still be riding camels with scimitars killing each other.
Okay.
Us is the Western Enlightenment. Them is the Islamic nation, or just Islam in general.
I keep missing some of the words you're saying. Can you repeat the last statement again? The last sentence?
No, because I feel like I'm being recorded.
Well, you are.
And this is a leftist server.
I'm streaming live. I'm always streaming.
Why are you always streaming?
I don't know. Everything is always like I'm making content for the generations.
Oh, there aren't going to be any.
Yeah, I know. It's for the aliens that, if ever, show up and have
You
access.
are one, you would know.
What?
You sound like an alien to me. It's for your history books. Like, here's why we killed the humans. Makes sense. I agree.
Imagine I'm actually an alien and I've been plugged into this matrix in order to communicate.
It wouldn't even surprise me.
Yeah.
You probably look like a fucking spider cracked out, just sitting in front of your keyboard, smoking some fucking alien weed shit, trolling the human internet before you kill us all. Is that what's going on?
No, wait,
Because
Muhammad.
that's honestly really cool.
Yeah, wait, Muhammad Hisham, are you a communist?
Yeah.
You are?
Ew.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, that's awesome. Finally, a communist.
Hell yeah, brother.
So,
Why are you a communist?
yeah, why are you a communist? That's a good question.
Because I just hate when the rich is getting richer and the poor is keep struggling every day and get like a minimum wage shit.
Oh.
No, only 2% of people in the U.S. make minimum wage. Everyone else makes above that.
Okay, still doesn't like value their work, you know? They still don't like
Their work. Most people
they
get
work
paid
their
what they're
asses off.
worth.
No, and they work with their asses off for like
Okay.
what?
Hold on.
What?
Wait 1 second. So I'm Muhammad. I'm a capitalist, but I mean I understand what you're saying. I don't like it.
But by the way, I'm not. Firstly, I'm not from the US, so but like capitalism and communism is still like it's probably everywhere here, right?
What? Wait,
So
I didn't get that. What did you say?
I said I'm not from the US.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not important. Look,
Oh yeah, so
what
I'm
you
just saying.
it's fine. Look, what you said that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer and the poor make very low wage and stuff. Yeah, I mean I
Yeah,
can relate.
even if they are working hard.
I can relate to that, but that's nothing to do with capitalism. Like
Okay.
in a capitalist utopia, everyone makes a lot of money, but there is
Yeah.
no equality, if that's what you mean. So some people make a lot more and some make less, but everyone makes a lot more than in a utopian communist country.
Okay, but like okay, so my dad works like he travels
Who?
cities to cities, okay?
Who?
And get back my dad.
Your dad? Okay.
Yeah. So he travels like city to city every day, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For his work. And like guess what he get from that? Like what? 5K a month?
I understand. I understand. I'm just saying. Let's
Yeah.
compare. I'm saying let's compare a communist utopia to a capitalist utopia. You know what
I'm
utopia?
not sure.
You know what
No, I'm not sure what utopia
utopia
is.
means perfect. So
Mhm.
let's compare a perfect communist country to a perfect capitalist country.
Mhm.
So in a perfect communist country, everybody is equally poor.
Yeah.
And in a perfect capitalist country, everyone is very wealthy, but there is extreme inequality. You have very poor people relative to very rich people, but the poorest
So
people, but
you said
no,
everyone
no,
is very
no,
very
no, no,
wealthy, right?
no, let me just finish. The poorest
Let the
people,
alien talk.
the poorest people in the capitalist country are much, much, much richer than everyone in the communist country. That's reality.
I mean, but that's only history, man. You have to look at my dreams.
No, it's not.
That was a joke.
Anyway, but
Can we look at the lights right now?
Look
Do
at
you think
what?
like everyone is very the US? It's like yeah, the US goes more towards this like capitalism, but
Yeah,
like, bro, not everyone is rich, bro. Like
I'm
they are
saying.
Not
incredibly.
everyone should be rich.
I'm saying the poorest in America are much, much, much wealthier than everybody in North Korea.
Rich in what? Like in what way? What makes them rich? Like when they are homeless.
Access to resource, medicine, spending power,
No,
freedom. I don't know.
theoretically, no one should be homeless. Like, that's like saying some people are dead. But
Mhm.
you have very poor people in America, but they still have a lot. They're very rich. I mean, statistically speaking, the poorest in America, they make, I think, about $60,000 a year. Like,
No, I'm speaking about like homeless people.
but you can talk about the dead people too. You can talk about babies who are aborted. We can talk about
So
that. We can
so you
talk
think
about
about.
we can talk
So
about
are you?
we can talk about when you know the like when you have when you masturbate and there's sperm, there's dead sperm. We can talk about that too. You
So you
can,
think homelessness? You're anti-homeless, right?
of course, I'm anti-homeless. I'm not
Nah,
saying
thank you, bro.
what. Oh, he thinks I hate the homeless. No, oh my god. That was so funny. And there's no way he just left and he's nowhere to be found. Oh, but it's hopeless. I just said something. Ah, how dare you say something I disagree with? I'm not even going to question what you meant. He's gone. Oh my god. Okay. Today's a slow day. I don't know. Very slow day. Very, very slow day. And it's the new year. I'm supposed to stream in tonight at 9 p.m. Let's see, what time is it now? Yeah, I'm supposed to stream at 9 p.m., I think. Um, I need to talk to Halsey. Where is Halsey? 9 p.m. Right on Tuesday. That's today. Yes. 9 p.m. So it's going to be right into the new year. 9 p.m. Are we good for 9 p.m.? Okay. Let's see what he says. Let's hear this.
Producing bodies and brains the way they are. And now we come on to things like nationalism, things like individuals sacrificing themselves for the sake of the long-term future of their lineage, their society, their nation. This is not Darwinism. This is something else. This is a complicated mixture of human-level affairs, which historians deal with, sociologists deal with, psychologists deal with. This is not Darwinism. It's not helpful to. It's not helpful to try to couch this in what sounds like Darwinian terms.
What do you mean it's not helpful? I mean, you have to. Can't do that. And you have to come up either with you have to you have to explain where suicidal tendencies come from. You have to come up with an answer. You can't just say it's not helpful.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's just see where it is that we disagree. My claim is that if it is true, and I obviously can't say if it is or isn't, but if it is true that things like xenophobia, genocide, suicide are products of adaptive evolution, that in order to address these things going forward in a useful way, understanding their nature is likely to be beyond helpful and may even be essential. So to give one example, let's say that the impulse to genocide is something that lurks inside human beings, awaiting certain indicators that it is the moment for that program to be triggered. Were that the case, you would want people to engage that question ahead of time when they were in possession of their full faculties, and to recognize that they might have a program within them that violates the values that they believe are their guide.
Yes, but I think I would prefer to say that these impulses are byproducts of something primitive and evolved. So something like genocide.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's important to analyze it. So I think I'm tending towards Brett Weinstein's side on this one against Richard Dawkins.
We know that chimpanzees, for example, do practice genocide against rival groups of chimpanzees. One can make a genetic evolution case that says something like this. In our wild ancestry, using the Hamilton idea of living in villages, living in small bands, the companions that you know, that are familiar to you from day to day, everybody you know is a relative, strangers are not. And so killing strangers, genocide, killing neighboring bands of people like happens in some parts of the New Guinea Highlands, for example, that could be regarded as a byproduct of genetic natural selection. And something like the Nazi atrocities could be regarded as a manifestation of that genetically evolved tendency. But it's in a totally different context. And of course, I agree with you that we need to resist, we need to rebel against the selfish genes, but I prefer not to talk about the things that we do in our modern society in a sort of straightforward biological way, but rather to say these are relics, byproduct relics of our genetic past. And one can do this all the time, and I think that we do this a lot. We do things like
How do you know?
the desire for business executives to have a bigger, thicker office carpet.
How do you know it's a relic? What does it even mean? That's like saying my 10 fingers are a relic. Everything about me is a relic. What does that mean? The question is, where does genocide and suicide, where do they come from? What's the evolutionary advantages of genocide and suicide? I mean, it's a straightforward question, and you need to address it. You can't just say it's a relic. That doesn't. You. Jesus, come on.
That kind of thing. This is all. You can interpret that in a sort of biological way as representing something like something that came from our biological past. But you have to be very careful when you do it. And I think very often not.
Dawkins is being unscientific.
Very helpful to try to apply Darwinian ideas directly to.
What do you mean? Of course, you can apply Darwin's ideas directly. Just answer the question. Do you agree or disagree, and why? He's evading the question.
The sorts of things that we get in modern society, whether it's horrible mechanized warfare or executives demanding bigger deaths or whatever it is. I just think we've got to be very careful in applying that.
Stop it. That's not a scientific answer to say we have to be careful.
I'm in favor of evolutionary psychologists who do this kind of thing, but I think they do it in a careful way, and I think we've got to be very cautious in the way we do it.
That's your answer? That's
so
your
how about
answer?
Suicide. You see that one as
Agent of idiocy. Richard is probably right. Suicide has nothing to do with genetics or DNA. Brett talks a lot but says nothing. I'm reminded of the expression, when all you have is a hammer. Pain avoidance. Dawkins became a public intellectual on the merit of their academic work. Weinstein's Google Scholar doesn't appear to show the same. Suicide, as related to depression, is a construct of thought. It's a negative expression of the self that attaches to its own suffering, speaking from experience, not conjecture. My little cousin took her life. She would have been 13. It was the first for the family, and it shook us. Ever since the Whitman took our way of life and stuck us on reserves, they also took away hope and dreams and what it means to live. Missed opportunity for Dawkins, exactly. He should have directly corrected the misunderstanding. Natural selection works on individuals, not cultures. Suicidal embedding within a culture, therefore, results from memes, not genes. You need to read his book, The Selfish Gene. I shall argue that the fundamental unit of selection and therefore of self-interest is not the species, not the group, not even strictly the individual. It is the gene, the unit of heredity. Explain self-interest as it relates to suicide. I would love to hear from Brett's thesis professor to hear what he thinks of Brett's illusion. Why does everybody hate Brett? What qualifies Brett Weinstein to participate? Brett speaks for 5 minutes and repeats. Thank you, Mr. Dawkins, for giving Weinstein an open floor. Can one even search that word? Weinstein should quit. Wow, everyone hates him. Jesus. I agree with Weinstein. Dawkins can't really tell exactly. Can't really tell what is Hello.
Hi, I'm Shoshi. How are you?
Oh, Shoshi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's up? What are these blue things next to your name?
Hamsa hands.
What does that mean?
Hamsa. Hamsa is a symbol like a hand. It has an eye in the middle. It's like it's from Abrahamic religion. It's related to the Virgin Mary.
Are you religious?
Nope.
Do you believe in Jesus?
Not really.
Okay,
I'm an atheist.
It says I play guitar, recorder, bass. What is bass? Bass?
Bass guitar, yeah.
Why is it spelled BASS? You say it's pronounced bass?
Yes, that is how you spell it.
Okay. Drums, xylophone, maracas, tambourine, banjo, clarinet, ukulele, timpani, glockenspiel, snare drum, bass drum, quads, crash, cymbals, spider, and steel. Jesus, and we have a lot of friends in common. 6 mutual
I
servers.
play all those instruments.
Are you a vegan?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very.
I'm a communist too.
Oh, you're a commie. That's nice. So.
That's what got me into the room.
Oh. Very nice. So, and you're a teacher, if I remember correctly.
I am.
Awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of teachers are communists.
No.
No.
Not in my experience.
So why are you a communist? Why do you think communism is good?
Basically, eliminate exploitation, class, poverty, stuff like that. That'd be better. So communist societies eliminate those things, so that's why it's good.
Exploitation?
Exploitation, yeah.
What is exploitation?
It's worker disempowerment. Communism is worker empowerment.
Wait.
That makes sense?
Wait, exploitation? Exploitation, that means like I'm exploiting someone or something. Like in Star Wars, remember they might find something, whatever, and exploit it. That's how in the first Star Wars Luke destroyed the Death Star because of an exploit. Like when a virus attacks, and it usually attacks an exploit. It exploits a vulnerability. So exploitation.
Worker exploitation. It's
Right.
the
That's
same
like
thing, yeah.
Right, but exploitation sounds like you're using someone, you're exploiting them.
That's right. You're taking unfair advantage of another person's work or effort or resource. That's worker exploitation. Usually by giving them less than what their work is worth. You work hard, someone else benefits from the work you do more than you do, and you have no power to change that.
But what if
That's worker exploitation under the communist sort of like
but
viewpoint.
but what if everybody's happy? What if it's a win-win?
Well, imagine you make imagine that you're the worker. You're working super hard, and someone else is taking more from the benefit of your labor than you do, and you say, "Hey, wait a minute, this doesn't seem fair." And they say, "Shut up or I'll fire you." You would probably be not happy.
Okay, but again, what if it's a win-win? Like, what if they pay me a lot of money, they make a lot of
So
money?
that would be worker empowerment. Yeah, if it's a win-win, then we're empowering the workers, and it's not exploitation. Sounds like you're coming over to my side. I appreciate it.
What?
Sounds like you're coming over to my side. I appreciate it. Worker empowerment.
What
Fight
do
the
you,
power.
I
That's what we want.
I don't
We want it to be win-win.
I don't understand what.
If it's win-win, Mr. Slave, then that's communism. So it sounds like you want it to be win-win. So do I. We're on the same side.
Jesus Christ.
Communism empowers workers by ensuring they collectively own and manage production.
Okay, but what? Let's say it's a capitalist scenario, and there is an owner, and I work for the company. I work for the owners, but they pay me well. I'm happy with their payment. I'm not an owner. I'm just a worker. I just get a salary. So, right, they pay me a salary. I'm happy with the salary, and they're happy with my productivity. So they're making money. I'm making money. Everybody's happy.
It sounds like you're saying worker empowerment, where everybody's happy there because they're working together, you're sharing, you're helping with decision making. More importantly, you have control of what happens to you at your
No,
job.
no,
Nobody is taking more than they should. These
no,
are all things to me that constitute what it means to be a happy worker. So
no,
when you say happy worker, these are the things that are implied with what you said. You feel valued, you're part of the company. That's communism.
no. That's not.
Yes, yes, yes. Which part is
No,
not? Which part is not?
no. I'm describing it.
Which part is not? Which part? Which
I'm
part is not? Which part is not?
describing.
Which part is? Which part is not? I'm asking you directly. Which part is not?
Why are you being so like?
Because you're being. I'm being poignant here. I want to put a fine point on this. I said that happy workers are when
No,
they work for a
but
company.
you're
Yes, listen,
you're
listen. I'm explaining it
inserting.
again.
What?
Listen again. Listen again. Listen again. You missed it. I'm asking you a very specific question. A
No,
happy worker is one
no.
where everybody helps make decisions and they
Hold on.
control together with
Hold on.
the bosses and the admin
Hold
what
on.
happens. No one forces
Hold.
you to work extra so that they can get rich.
Hold
That's a
on.
happy worker.
Hold on.
Which part of that do you disagree with? No, I'm asking you to
No.
hold on. I've already asked you to hold
No.
on. I'm asking you to hold on.
No.
Yes. 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 You're
Uh,
filibustering. You're
Shashi.
filibustering. You're filibustering. Stop
Shashi.
filibustering, Mr. Slave. Hold on, Kenobi. Mr.
Okay.
Slave, which part of that
No.
is something you disagree with?
No.
That's not
Just,
an
just
answer to my question.
he's
No.
not answering. Just ignoring.
That's not an answer to
Shashi.
my question. Which part? My question is which part of that?
No. Shashi.
If you don't answer my question, you're evading. You're filibustering and evading. Are you recording this? Hey,
Yes.
Me?
everybody on the screen. Mr.
I'm not.
Slave is filibustering and evading, right?
I'm not recording nothing.
You're filibustering because you're saying no, no, no. What about this? That's not the question. I'm being poignant. I've made a claim. I've made a specific claim, and you said no, that's not right. So which part?
No, I'm saying
And really, this
no.
is stupid. Kenobi, this is really dumb because we're arguing over what a happy worker is. Go ahead, Mr. Slave.
What I'm
Yeah, no,
saying,
that's what I was gonna ask you. Oh,
no,
sorry, go
no,
ahead.
wait, yeah, hold on. No, look,
Go on, go on.
Shoshi, you gotta slow down. You're being I would say you're
At
inserting.
home, at home, at home. You got to slow down. You're being whatever. At home.
Stop.
Evading.
Stop.
Innovation. Everybody
Stop.
listening, Mr.
What's
Slave.
the
Evading
question?
again.
Yo, what's the question though?
What makes a happy worker?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the question is. The
Does
question.
matter.
No, no.
Because
What
you're
makes
the
a
one that
happy
said
worker?
it.
No, no.
Yeah, what makes a happy worker under like a communist framework? Yeah.
No, no.
Yes, sir.
Stop. Stop. So before we can have a
You're
conversation,
filibustering though.
stop.
What?
Stop. So before we can have a conversation,
I can filibuster too, you know.
Stop.
I know how to do that too, you know.
Stop.
Yo, you're both LGBT, bro. Be nice to each other. Come on.
So
Oh, Mr. Kenobi's LGBT. Cool.
Shashi,
No, no, Mr. Steve and you. So yeah, I mean, you're part of the same nation, right?
Go ahead, Mr. Slave.
Okay, so please, I feel that you're inserting emotions into this discussion, which I'm trying to remove.
At home, evasion. You're evading again. You're bringing my character into it without answering the actual poignant question. Yes, you're evading.
No.
You're derailing.
No.
I love calling you out on this. Yes.
Stop. What I'm saying, I'm not saying it's not an ad hom. I'm saying before.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. That is at home.
No.
Answer the fucking question, Mr. Slave.
No.
What's your problem? What's your fucking problem?
My problem is
You're a fucking
before.
clown.
Stop. That's an ad hom. Stop. So before.
No, that was an insult.
Still.
You won't
So
answer my question. I'm frustrated.
no.
You're a fucking clown.
No.
Answer the fucking question.
No, I'm not answering.
Answer the fucking question.
Yo,
No.
guys.
What?
Can I
What,
mediate
Kenobi?
this? Can I mediate?
He won't answer my question.
Can
I'm
I just mediate?
I'm not going
for a
to
moment?
answer the
Kenobi,
question.
don't you think it's fair if everyone working at a particular business gets
let
an
me
equal
mediate
say in
this.
share?
Right, look, Mr. Slave,
Mhm.
Shoshi is asking you a direct question. Okay, the
No.
question is.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not engaging. Before
Just
we.
tell us. Just tell. Wait, are you a him or a her even, Shoshi? I don't even know. What's your like? What are you even? Like
You should. That's rude. You should look. She, her pronouns, by the way. But you should look at my, my rules. Thank you.
You're a woman.
What are you? Yeah. Really weird.
Okay.
I feel accosted now.
No. Okay, so you're a woman. Okay, fine. Yeah. So they're asking you a clear question. Just what makes a happy worker? That's it. You just have to answer it.
I'm not engaging with Shoshi until she behaves nicely towards me. Until she reduces the.
By behaving nicely, he means I should allow him to evade and equivocate and filibuster. Nope, not going to let you filibuster, equivocate.
Let's
or evade.
practice something.
Answer the question. Answer the
Shoshi,
question.
let's practice something. We're gonna practice something. Okay, a group activity here. Okay, Shoshi, I'm gonna ask you a direct question, and then you give me a direct answer. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same with Mr. Slave. Okay, right. Shoshi, what makes a happy worker?
Basically, fair pay, fair say.
Fair pay, fair say. Okay.
I just made that up. Yeah.
All right.
Just to make it super short.
Mr. Slave, what makes a happy worker? Go ahead.
I would say negotiation.
Fair say. Yeah, we agree.
No,
Okay.
look, Shoshi.
Negotiation is fair say. That's the same thing.
Hold
to
on.
me.
Yeah,
hold
no,
on.
I would agree.
Hold on.
I would
Hold
agree.
on. That's okay.
Yes, we all agree.
Shoshi, stop. So every
I'm
time,
stopping. Go ahead.
Shoshi, stop.
Oh
Every
my
time
goodness.
I give an answer, you modify the answer and then you say, we agree. It's like consistent.
We agree that workers should have fair say.
I didn't say
right?
that. I never said that.
We agree that workers should be
I
are going
never.
to be happy when they
I
negotiate. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by
negotiate.
fair say.
No, no, we disagree.
That's what I mean by fair say. Yes.
We disagree. We
That's what I
disagree.
mean by fair
No,
say is
fine.
negotiate.
Look, okay.
That's easy.
All right, Shashi, I don't like. I don't understand what you're trying to accomplish. Like you're trying to force an
You're the one
agreement.
acting weird right now. I asked a poignant question. I don't know what your thing is. You're like doing a troll parody debate thing.
Shashi, leave.
You're a clown.
Leave.
You're a fucking clown, Mr. Slave.
Leave.
BTFO'd. Communism is good. We
Leave.
both agree.
Fine. Good.
BTFO'd.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Anybody else thinks communism is terrific?
I'm too well fed to be a communist.
Shoshi,
Why did you
why are you back?
off the well, communism is good. Don't kick me off.
I didn't kick you off. I just said you should leave. If you're not gonna have a discussion, then what's the point?
I want to have a discussion.
You
But you won't answer my
apparently
questions.
no, because every time I give an answer,
Why did you boot me?
I didn't do
That wasn't cool,
anything.
no.
I didn't do anything. Every
Don't do
time
it again.
I didn't do anything. What are you talking about?
That's right. That's what I thought.
What are you? Why do you behave this way?
Like how? What do you mean?
You're being obnoxious.
Come on, I want to have a debate.
You don't. You're being obnoxious. You're being rude.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the conversation.
Okay.
So communism is good. I think we agreed because workers get fair say.
Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that? What's the point? Do you want to? You can't. What kind of a debate are we going to have if every time I give an answer, you claim you change you make a modification, and then you just say we agree instead of like having an actual discussion? Like
Are happy workers negotiators? Are happy
said,
workers?
I
Do
mean,
they negotiate?
I believe yes through negotiate. I mean, if
So
everything
fair
is
say is that's what I mean by fair say. They're negotiators. Happy
I
workers
don't
get to
know.
be
No,
negotiators.
that's different.
That's why they're happy.
No. Fair say. I don't know what like. I'm not talking about having a say. I don't like.
That's what you do when you negotiate. You have a say in what happens at your work.
I mean, why would workers own the means of production? Like, how's that fair?
Happy workers get a say in what happens at their workplace. That's fair. That's what we're saying.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if we're debating communism, like at minimal, we got to have worker ownership of the means of production in order to even qualify, right? And that's what I'm asking. Why do we even think that that's ethical at all?
It's ethical when workers have fair say, fair pay. And so the ownership of the means of production is basically saying we're all workers here. So the administration class and the blue collar class work together. They all own the company together. Worker ownership of the means of production. It's fair because everybody gets equal share, equal say.
I mean, typically though, when you have like a business, especially one in which has been invested into, like one guy is going to typically end up with like a greater investment and therefore greater risk, right? It's like, why would like the guy that has essentially negligible, like let's say he's contributed literally 1 penny, that's his contribution. Why should he get like the equal vote as say the guy that has invested $3.7 million?
So I'm saying that worker ownership is fair because everyone works and everyone shares. So there is no one guy in communism that gets most of the reward and somebody contributes a penny and gets equal share. If you help make something, you get part of the reward, and nobody takes too much, and we all make decisions together, and that gives us like a care ethic at work, so it makes our work better because everybody's
All right.
fair and it all feels good. So
So
communism
how are we going
good. Hold on.
How are we?
I gave you like really good points there. Do you disagree with any of those points?
Yeah, I disagree with
Which
the
one?
idea that if you make something, you get a piece of it.
If you
Because
make
one,
something, wait, I didn't even say that. If you
maybe I
make
misheard
something,
you. Like you said, the cake analogy, right? So if you make the cake, you get a piece of
I
cake.
didn't say cake. I didn't say cake at all.
Oh, maybe I misheard. Say
If you
what you
make
said again.
something, yeah, sure. I think that what I'm saying is like the working ownership scenario is every single person in that factory is a worker, and every single person working is helping to make that something. And so every person working shares in the reward of that something. And that's fair. Nobody gets too much. We like decide together what happens with the profits. It's a team.
Okay, so
Okay, so
Shoshi,
there is still profit then. Like there's still like money being exchanged. It's not like a moneyless economy.
No, yeah. I'm just talking about the worker exploitation at the moment.
what do you mean?
So anything you disagree with there?
What do you mean
Anybody?
worker exploitation?
Well, hold on a second.
Can you give me an
So
example of worker exploitation?
Sure. Let me think for a second here. Imagine you work at a sandwich factory and you make 10 sandwiches just to make it easy. The restaurant sells your sandwiches, or your boss sells the sandwiches for $10 each. So that's $100 that you generated basically because you made the sandwiches, and you get $20 for the whole day's work. The boss keeps the $80, and you're like, "That's not fair. I want more." And they say, "Shut up, or we'll fire you." That's not fair. That's exploitation. You don't have any control.
Okay, so
In fact, they say you better work harder or you get fired. It's not fair. That's
okay,
exploitation.
that okay, but that's like a very specific scenario. Like, what do you mean?
That's what you asked for, you moron.
No,
You said, give
stop.
me a specific scenario, and I gave it
Did
to
you
you.
call me a
And then you're
name?
like, but that's a specific scenario, you fucking
Yoshi,
clown.
what? You call me a clown?
Mr. Slave, yeah.
Okay, unrestricted. What's uh, what's your policy on communism? Okay, until you answer. I agree with Weinstein. Dawkins can't really tell what is Darwinian and what is not, since genes are not a Darwinian. Nobody mentioned genes. You got a better understanding of genes. Dawkins, Dawkins is being cowardly on these points. Yes, I agree. As usual, desperately defending Darwinian Evo with preferences and not objective data. I somewhat agree. Read his books. Suicide is not a sacrifice. Brett, what's your actual point? Brett doesn't have talk. Brett, not clear at all. I mean, Brett is actually pretty clear. Kind of clear. I think it's cultural. Neither will be there in 5. I never understood why people think highly of Dawkins. He is terrible at thinking outside the context of a biology textbook. So because it sounds bad, yeah, it means we should put in other terms. Where is the schooling exactly? Yep. People unalive themselves because they're in severe mental and emotional agony, not because of some I've met people that committed because they were convinced they were going to heaven. Everyone pretending that they thought Brett was an idiot before the Professor Dave Explains video denounced him. You can denounce him, but he's making a good point in this video. That's a very interesting question. The internet would have you believe destroys Weinstein. Good dialogue. Yep. Weinstein should quit anyway. All right. What else we got? All right. I think we're done. I need to know if Halsey is still on for tonight. Oh, you're on special year-end.
And stay connected with reality. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a lot of stickers, and I will do that. You don't, by the way, those of you listening, Trump had challenged the decision in the court.
He's wearing a white shirt.
And I'll have backup battery power, so they are all working. So we have normal internet. But the nice thing about Super Chat is it saves the questions for me, so I can see them all. I'm not sure how we're going to do that now. Cambridge, I wore black tie. I was supposed to wear a tuxedo. It was a lot.
Oh, that's funny.
Happy New Year, everybody. And 2024 is over. It was an incredibly eventful year. We'll go over some of those events today. It was a lot was going on. We had some great shows. It was the year in which your Unbooked show was most listened to ever in terms of just hours of listening. Was huge. Everybody's impressed by my nice shirt that my wife encouraged me to wear. I was just going to wear my regular shirt, but it's a special event. So yeah, looks good. No tie, never a tie. Only at Cambridge. If you watch my debate at Cambridge, the video of the debate at Cambridge, I wore black tie. I was supposed to wear a tuxedo. Refused to wear a tuxedo. Wore white shirt with a black tie. Next time I might not even do that. But anyway, yeah, I mean, 2024 is going to be officially over in a little while. 2025 begins. 2024, not the worst year. You know, they've been worse. Although the election certainly puts a dark spin on it. But let's hope and work for a
what an idiot.
Better 2025. Oh, Skyler, you've just complicated my life. How many questions can I ask for $500? But you've already done the $500. How are you going to ask the questions now? This is very you've created real complexity here. You can ask as many questions as you want for $500. We'll see how we operationalize this.
$500.
I can see them all. I'm not sure how we're going to do that now. Can you ask like $1 questions at this point? I don't know. Steve says he doesn't listen to this live. Usually listens to this after the fact at 1.5 times speed. So I'm super slow right now, speaking at normal speed. So yes, I know the feeling, Steve. I listen to books on tape. I don't know how you do 1.5. 1.5 is a lot. It's fast. I use 1.25, 1.3 for most of the stuff. And when I hear a book now read at just 1, it like drives me nuts. Why are they so slow? By the way, just so you know, I have no power. Power is out in Puerto Rico, especially for New Year's Eve. Basically, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, went to the bathroom, and boom, lights go out. And they've been out since. And we're told that they will be out for 24 to 48 hours. So we probably will not have electricity from the grid until 2025. So this is a remnant of 2024 here in Puerto Rico. Luckily for me, luckily for you, luckily for all of us, we have a generator, a big diesel generator that is powering this computer and the lights. And I think the relays from my internet that get to the building all have backup battery power. So they are all working. So we have normal internet. But for the people who don't have backup generators right now in Puerto Rico, for the businesses that don't have backup generaters in Puerto Rico, it's pretty bleak and sad and pretty pathetic. Nobody knows exactly the cause, but there you go. We're out. Anyway, today we are, in addition to me kind of reviewing 2024, we will also be raising money for the show. And as you know, the show, the money that is raised, whether through Patreon, PayPal, Subscribe Star, Super Chat, and the rest, is what has happened here? Is made possible. All that money is what makes the show. It doesn't exist without the show. The show doesn't exist without your support. Your financial support. Your financial support is essential to keeping the show going. So we do an annual big fundraiser. Fundraising goes on all year round on every single show, as you know. Today it's particularly ambitious. We're trying to raise $15,000, which I think will beat last year's $13,000 goal, which we made fairly easily. So hopefully we can make it this year. I think to get to 15,000 is basically it's 30 people coming in at 500. 30 people coming in at 500, or 150 coming in at 100, or some combination of the above. But of course, happy for you guys who are doing $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, and so on. Every bit helps. Every bit gets us to the goal, and of course helps sustain the program more broadly. We already raised quite a bit of money offline, off of YouTube's Super Chat. We raised about $4,300. So let me just thank William Stewart for $500, Robbie for $1,000, Barbara for $500, Volta for $100, Renat for $1,000, Matthew for $1,000, Luca for $100, Daniel for $100. So thank you guys. Really appreciate that. So we will take all of that into account. Although for the Super Chat purposes, I'm going to leave it as 15,000. It's just a nice round number, don't you think? And it'd be great if we could raise 15,000 on top of the 4,300 we've already got. By the way, though, if you do want to contribute, but you'd rather not do it on Super Chat, if you'd rather do it on PayPal, you can go right now at basically $4,800. Wes says he sent $500 on PayPal over an hour ago with his proper name. Oh, I see. That's William. So you're William. Okay. So thank you for the extra 100, Wes. That's fantastic. That's great. Okay, so we go through the next few hours. And I think that'll fluctuate up and down. John, who did 500, and Skylar 500. Ian, John, and Wes each doing 100, and Jennifer 50 infections. So that is great. Quite a few. Of course, the U.S. election, which we'll talk about in greater detail. But all of those meaningful elections, we ended up last year with the consequences of attacking Israel in the north. But it was just Israel war played a huge role. We did a lot of shows on it. I think probably the show that had the most hours watched, maybe ever in the history of the Iran Book Show, and maybe the longest show in the history of the Iran Book Show, was a show I did the night Iran attacked Israel for the first time. I think it was in April. And we went live just as the attack was starting, or just as rumors of the attack were spreading, and we stayed on through the entire attack. I think it was well over 4 hours, close to 5 hours. And I think I actually have the number here. One second. Let's see if we can find it. The hours watched of that episode, 3,000 views. But that show, the second show that got the most views was another show on Israel's war by far. Not the most views. The most hours watched was the war with Iran, as it happens. About a year. You think anybody's going to give, who's going to get credit for this year? It's 2 years in a row, a phenomenal performance on Wall Street. We got a major antitrust case. We've got first the killing of the CEO of United Healthcare. Jimmy Carter just died. At some point, we need to do a Biden legacy. Maybe we'll see the Biden legacy for when he leaves office in a few weeks. This is the year of Argentina. This is the year of Milei. Last year, he got elected, but he was still unsure what would happen. This is the year in which he showed what would happen. China, we'll talk about how this affected China. And on the good news side, I mean, SpaceX catching the thing, the booster rocket, that was like unbelievable, amazing. AI taking off. Bitcoin becoming an ETF and going to 100,000, which I had some. Past Olympics were phenomenal, right? So those are some of the stories for the year. We'll talk about them. I'll also, of course, answer your questions, and we'll do a combination of those things. We'll answer questions. We'll go to the year in review. We'll go back and forth, and we'll see where this takes us, and we'll see how long we have to be here in order to get to our goal. We are now $2,000 into the fundraiser. We still got close to 13,000 to go. Although if I count the offline money, it's a lot less than that, but let's not count it for now. Let's not count it for now. Right? PayPal email address. If you want to make a contribution to PayPal, or you put in your Iran Book Show, you can. So happy to take contributions to PayPal rather than YouTube. The goal is 15,000. Yes, absolutely. The goal is 15,000. Although if we reach it too quickly, then I might raise it. But we will see. It's going to take quite a bit for that. Mark says, did you get the funding for the healthcare show? Yes, healthcare show is on Saturday. Coming Saturday. Right. Today is Tuesday. This Saturday, which will be basically how to fix the healthcare system. How to fix the healthcare system. Go to the support page. Find a link there if you'd like. Of Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump pulled off, pulled off one of the most amazing political comebacks ever. He should have been an incredibly weak candidate, given his legal problems, given hush money conviction, a kind of a fraud conviction, kind of a weak fraud conviction. The convictions last year, for sexual assault, or at least defamation around sexual assault. The Carroll decisions, which were just upheld by an appellate court. Trump had challenged the decision in the court, and it was upheld. In spite, and of course, the document case and the attempts to change the election and all of that. January 6th, the case in Georgia. I mean, and then January 6th, a president of the United States who stood by, encouraged them and stood by as Congress was trashed and people advocated, did nothing, and in a sense supported it. Right? And yet, in spite of all of that, in spite of he still won it, and he won the election pretty solidly. That is, he won the election convincingly. He won, he carried, in spite of the fact that he had all this legal trouble, and maybe arguably to portray himself as a victim of the system, as a victim of the elites for reasons. And I think he used that as a politician incredibly effectively. Margin, he won generally. He won the popular vote by a small margin, but he won the popular vote, which nobody was expecting. Nobody was expecting, with the exception of, I think, 2004. A Republican had won the popular vote in a long time. The frustration, the anger, the fear, the reality that the American people came to, I think, despise. Much of the American people came to despise. The Biden administration, that lately, there was a story recently out of the Wall Street Journal, that Biden only functioned between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., and even then, not that the president become president. They just pretended and pulled one over on the American people. Clearly continued. I mean, when we saw that in the first debate was, God, June 27th. I mean, do you remember the first debate? I mean, it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever experienced in politics. To watch Biden on stage was, God, this guy belongs in a old home. He doesn't belong in the White House. I think the American people felt betrayed by that, and I think they should have, for the dishonesty that the Biden administration exuded. And I think that the loss, I think Democrats losing is to a large extent a consequence of the fact that Biden insisted on running, didn't have a primary, didn't have a Democratic primary, and then Biden is so obviously incapable and incompetent of actually running to that. I think that was a big part of why Trump won, was just everybody's disgust with Biden. I mean, the reality is it was not bad. GDP growth, wage growth, by every measure, economic growth was not bad during Biden's post-COVID, during Biden's term. Inflation was coming down significantly. By the time of the election, inflation was not a big issue, shouldn't have been a big issue. Stock market, the 2 best years the stock market has had in over 25 years. I mean, really extraordinary performance of the S&P 500, particularly NASDAQ. We'll get to that later. Particularly NASDAQ. Biden gets 0 credit for that. If Trump had 2 years like that, he would be 2 years on constantly and taking 100% credit for it. Now, I get it that the growth was in particular industries, in particular sectors, in particular places. Not everybody benefited equally from it. All of that is acknowledged, but the economic malaise that Americans felt was not justified by the economics. It was because, for example, wage growth was there.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. Let's see, we've been around for 3 hours. All right, everyone. I think maybe I'll be back later with Halsey. I still need to hear back from Halsey, so I'm not sure what's going to be. Let's wait for him to respond. So Merry New Year or Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. If I don't see you, bye-bye.